Chapter 402. I only have 19 Dao carriers left. As for the Fortune Divine Jades, I've accumulated a total of 178 Dao carriers during this period of time. Xinghui glanced at the template in his Chaos Temple interface. Without much hesitation, the Chaos level was upgraded from level 38 to level 39. Then, his personal space, which had been upgraded to level 7, was upgraded to level 8. A level 8 personal space spanned tens of thousands of kilometers and could be called a world. If it could accommodate living people or objects, it would not be difficult for tens of billions of people to live in it. It should be noted that the diameter of the planet that Xinghui came from was only 12,756 kilometers. My personal space has already reached level 8, and after another 22 days, I'll be able to raise the level of chaos to level 40. Once I reach level 40, a new characteristic will definitely appear. I wonder what this new characteristic skill will be. Xinghui was vaguely curious. However, when he thought of the new skill that the level 40 characteristic might produce, Xinghui's attention shifted to the deduction skill at level 35. The deduction skill allowed one to know Tai Chi Yin and Yang, understand the 4 symbols and 5 elements, identify all things in the universe, and solve karma. It seemed a little mysterious. He wondered if he should upgrade his deduction technique to the next level after his personal space was upgraded to the 10th order. Shaking his head, Xinghui's gaze fell on the carrier items again. I just need one more Golden Crow blood essence. One more. Xinghui glanced at the many treasures in his personal space. The token of the world of battle could be sold for 100 Taoist rhymes. In addition, he had 9 primordial spirit chis in his personal space. He had bought 10 of these primordial spirit chis from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. He had planned to use the broken sword to sharpen his mind, but he did not expect that it would not be useful after upgrading the recovery characteristic to level 10. He had used 1 primordial spirit chis on Duo Ji in the Chongzhen continent, and kept the remaining 9 here, just in case. The chi of primordial spirit is a hot commodity. If I sell it now, even if those chambers of commerce have to charge some intermediary fees, it would not be a problem to sell it at 18 Taoist rhymes. Therefore, I might as well sell 5 of them and keep 4 for future use. Xinghui weighed for a moment. Considering that Jian Yun of the Vientiane Chamber of Commerce still had a portion of Golden Crow blood essence that he hadn't bought yet, he immediately activated the chaos spell given by Jian Yun and appeared in the personal space of the Vientiane Chamber of Commerce in the Chaos Temple. I'm Xiaoling from the Myriad Elephant Chamber of Commerce. Greetings to this Mr. I wonder if this Mr. As soon as Xinghui stepped into Vientiane Trading Firm's personal space, he was immediately greeted by a young girl who looked less than 20 years old. I have a matter to discuss with Miss Jian Yun of the Myriad Elephant Chamber of Commerce. Please inform her that Senior Dong Yang has a deal to discuss with her. Senior Dong Yang? The girl was slightly startled, and then she hurriedly said, Is it Senior Dong Yang, the new Void Walker of our Vientiane Chamber of Commerce? Please wait inside for a moment, I will go and invite Miss Jian Yun over. As the girl spoke, she summoned someone and took Xinghui to another space to rest, while she sent a message to Jian Yun. In less than half an hour, a beautiful figure stepped into the living room. Before she sat down, her voice was heard first, Mr. Pak Hui, you're here. But I haven't seen Mr. Pak Hui for several months. It seems that Mr. Pak Hui has been cultivating during this period. I'm afraid that he has already reached the Great Accomplishment stage. He's just one step away from the Great Accomplishment stage. Does your Vientiane trading firm still have Golden Crow blood essence? Yes, and there are 2 portions. One is Saint Stage Golden Crow blood essence, and the other is Divine Stage Golden Crow blood essence. Divine Stage Golden Crow blood essence. Has the Chaos Treasure Pavilion of the Vientiane trading firm reopened during this period? Yes. How much is the price of Divine Stage Golden Crow blood essence? This, Jian Yun hesitated for a moment, but still said, Mr. Pak Hui should understand that the cultivation resources of the Divine Stage of Empyrean Wasteland are already extinct. If you want to obtain cultivation materials related to the divine stage, you have to join forces with the other divine stage experts and go deep into the outer sea to kill those divine beasts far away from human territory. Otherwise, you have to completely rely on the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Therefore, the cultivation resources produced by the Chaos Treasure Pavilion are naturally very precious. Xing Hui nodded. How much is it? The auction price will not be lower than 200 Dao rhymes. So expensive? I remember that the number of divine stage divine beasts blood essence is 81 drops. With 10 drops, just the blood alone is worth 1,600 Dao rhymes. How difficult is it to kill a divine beast? Not to mention how difficult it is to find a divine beast, it takes 3 or 4 experts of the Saint Realm to defeat a divine beast. If you want to kill a divine beast, it will take 5 or 6 giants of the Saint Realm. If you are not careful, you will be surrounded by a group of divine beasts. In the outer sea, where divine beasts and saint beasts wreak havoc, you will definitely die. Over the years, we have organized many large-scale operations to kill divine beasts, but in terms of casualties, on average, it takes 3 experts of the Saint Realm to kill a divine beast of the Saint Realm. These giants of the Saint Realm basically have divine skills, and sometimes they can be used as experts of the second level of the Saint Realm. Let me ask you, which is more important, 1,600 Dao auras or a giant of the Saint Realm more important? Xing Hui shook his head. The number was obviously not calculated like that. A divine stage divine beast was worth more than 1,600 Dao rhymes. However, on average, 3 divine stage experts died. This number was really shocking. Xing Hui did not continue to dwell on this issue. The divine stage golden crow blood essence was beyond his ability to purchase. Give me that golden crow blood essence. I have 5 portions of primordial spirit chi. How much are you willing to buy it? 5 portions of primordial spirit chi. Jian Yun's eyes lit up. Primordial spirit chi is one of the most sought-after goods. If Sir Pak Hui is willing to sell it to us, we are willing to buy it for 19 Dao rhymes. 19 Dao rhymes, this number was even higher than he had imagined. Then 19 Dao rhymes. Prepare the golden crow blood essence and 40 Dao rhymes item. Dong Yang will arrive at the Myriad Elephant Chamber of Commerce in a day. Sir Pak Hui, please wait a moment. As far as I know, Xinjian's Rising Dragon Chamber of Commerce also obtained a divine stage golden crow blood essence not long ago. The corner of Xing Hui's mouth twitched a little. They did not want him to have any Dao rhymes left. However, I'll buy it. 2 days later, Xing Hui looked at the 2 portions of golden crow blood essence and the 4 Dao rhymes item in his personal space. He was speechless. As expected, there was a price to pay if one wanted to increase their cultivation level quickly. If he was really willing to stay in the true element realm for 30 years, he would only need to spend less than 40 Daoist rhymes to cultivate his true element realm to the perfection stage. However, in order to save 29 years of cultivation time, he increased the consumption of less than 40 Daoist rhymes to 220. Then, the next step is to make the best use of everything as soon as possible and push my cultivation level to the transcendent stage as soon as possible. Once I reach the transcendent stage, I will be able to forcefully conquer the eastern wilderness. Xing Hui muttered to himself. Then, he refined the golden crow's blood essence without hesitation. After being replenished by the golden crow blood essence, the peak of the true energy stage naturally accumulated to perfection and filled all the acupoints in his body. When his true energy was filled to the maximum, Xing Hui immediately controlled every bit of true energy in his body and began to permeate it into the acupoints in his body, opening up all the joints of his true energy. As these acupoints and joints were opened up, Xing Hui's peak true energy stage aura dropped rapidly. True energy stage, prominent sage stage, green netherworld stage. Not long after, the energy waves in his body had disappeared completely and dropped to the level of the green netherworld stage. Transcendent stage. This was the transcendent stage. He could perfectly control every bit of energy in his body. When he could continue to compress his energy until it was only left with the energy waves of the true energy stage, he would be at the peak of the transcendent stage. As for completely concealing all his energy and aura, that was the golden core stage. Almost there. It's a pity that the energy of the world-burning art is too overbearing. This state cannot be maintained for long, or else it will harm my body. Of course, this is related to the fact that I have just stepped into the transcendent stage and have yet to fully control the power of the transcendent stage. The energy waves that Xing Hui had compressed to the green netherworld stage recovered rapidly as he gave up control of his own energy. Not long after, he had recovered to the true energy stage. Next, it's the most important point of the transcendent stage. As Xing Hui spoke, a dazzling energy burst out from his body. Since he had cultivated to the true energy stage, this was the first time his golden crow divine body had seen the light of day. Instantly, endless light and heat burst out, burning the forest within a radius of several hundred meters into ashes. Let me see how much my attack power can increase after reaching the transcendent stage. Accompanied by a loud sound, the golden crow divine body suddenly let out a loud cry. In an instant, the entire mountain range turned into a sea of purgatory fire. Luckily, Xing Hui was currently in the cloud-desolate mountain range where there were few people. If it was in the outside world, the consequences of such a fierce attack would not be inferior to a natural disaster. Half an hour later. With a trace of helplessness on his face, Xing Hui left the cloud-desolate mountain range. The Transcendent Stage. In addition to being able to restrain one's aura and perfectly control one's own true energy waves, one can also use one's true energy to exert one's true energy to ensure that there is no loss of true energy. Strictly speaking, this is a method that allows the practitioner to use true energy more efficiently. But just like the true energy virtual technique can pour out all of one's true energy in one breath to unleash an attack that is far beyond one's realm, the most frightening thing about the transcendent stage is that he can mobilize all of his true energy in one breath and unleash a destructive blow that consumes all of his true energy. If a practitioner of the spiritual grade battle body unleashes all of his true energy in one breath, even a practitioner of the divine grade battle body would have to avoid the attack. Otherwise, it would be difficult to escape the fate of the divine grade battle body being destroyed. This was almost equivalent to a weakened version of the Sword of the Sun. However, compared to the Sword of the Sun, which used up all of one's true energy in one breath and had a single attack method, the Transcendent Stage expert could precisely control the output of his true energy. It was not necessarily a good thing to cultivate the true energy virtual technique to the great accomplishment stage too early and master a killing move like the Sword of the Sun. Just like this time, because he had already used the true energy virtual technique and the Sword of the Sun, the increase in his strength from the breakthrough of the Transcendent Stage was far less significant than that of other Transcendent Stage experts. In terms of benefits, the only benefit was that he did not encounter any bottleneck from the true energy stage to the Transcendent Stage. That was all. Chapter 403. I don't have enough Tao carriers at all. In pursuit of speed, I spent a total of 220 Taoist rhythms on the divine grade vital essence I cultivated with the world-burning art. It won't be easy to cultivate the Torch Dragon bloodline, especially since the amount of Torch Dragon blood essence produced is much less than that of the Golden Crow. Once it appears, I must find a way to obtain it. Otherwise, I don't know when the next time I encounter it. Therefore, I must always have enough Tao carriers on me to be prepared. It would be best if I could obtain the divine stage Torch Dragon blood essence in one fell swoop. While flying in the direction of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, Xing Hui also diverted a portion of his consciousness into his personal space in the Chaos Temple. After his consciousness entered his personal space, the first place he looked at was the Sun of Chaos interface. After raising his Golden Crow bloodline cultivation to the peak of the true energy realm, Xing Hui was only 22 Taoist rhythms away from becoming a rank 40 Son of Chaos. Later, he went into closed-door cultivation to refine a portion of Golden Crow blood essence and step into the transformative realm, which took him more than half a month. After some delay, 22 days had passed. The Taoist rhythms accumulated in the Fortune Jade had reached 100, enough for him to raise the Chaos level again. I wonder what kind of characteristics a rank 40 Son of Chaos will develop. As Xing Hui spoke, he was about to raise his Chaos level. Suddenly, he seemed to sense something and his expression changed. The next moment, he burst out at full speed like a stream of light, about to push the 9th-grade flying sword, flowing fire, to the limit. But before he could push his speed to the limit, a vast and majestic force descended from the sky, carrying an invincible might as it slammed into Tsing Hui's body, causing Tsing Hui to plummet rapidly from the sky. 4 figures wielded arcane artifacts as they stood in 4 different directions, rapidly sealing off the entire space. To no surprise, the ones who attacked him were 3 transformative experts who radiated with the presence of divine arts. The 3 transformative experts worked together and suppressed him with a single strike, forcefully stopping Qing Su from fleeing. Enlightened Master Tian Ding. Enlightened Master Golden Cicada. Looking at the 3 powerhouses who obviously had divine techniques, Tsing Hui's expression gradually became dignified. Spiritual Master Tian Ding and Spiritual Master Golden Cicada were the pinnacle existences of the create-evolved mysterious sect and were well known on the Heaven Wasteland list. As for the transformative realm expert who had teamed up with them, his aura was even more terrifying than that of Spiritual Master Tian Ding and Spiritual Master Golden Cicada. Clearly, he was a hidden pinnacle expert of the create-evolved mysterious sect. Other than enlightened being Tian Ding, enlightened being Golden Cicada, and the mysterious enlightened being Beidou, there were 4 transcendent state cultivators and 10 true energy realm cultivators who were eyeing them covetously. It was as if the entire creation mystical sect had turned out in full force. The creation mystical sect really thinks highly of me, Tsing Hui. In order to deal with me, they actually mobilized all the experts they could. Even Daoist Tian Ding and Daoist Golden Cicada, who were responsible for intimidating the Wuji Sword Sect's Lifeless Sword Master and Ancestor Stone Sword, were sent over. Aren't you afraid that the Wuji Sword Sect and the other forces will sense that your create-evolved mysterious sect is empty and swarm over to take back the territory that your create-evolved mysterious sect had previously occupied and counterattack? Tsing Hui looked at the 17 experts who had surrounded him in the void and the expression in his eyes gradually turned cold. Cho Tsing Hui, you have repeatedly gone against our create-evolved mysterious sect. If we don't kill you, it won't be enough to appease the anger in our hearts. Even if we have to pay a price today, we must kill you here and no one will be able to save you. Spiritual Master Beidou said in a deep voice. That's right. If the Wuji Sword Sect and the other forces want to invade our create-evolved mysterious sect's territory, then let them do so. In fact, we even estimate that even if our create-evolved mysterious sect's door is wide open, the Wuji Sword Sect will still have to be careful to see if there are any traps inside. As long as we are fast enough, we can definitely return to the sect immediately after killing you. If we are lucky, we can even inflict a heavy blow to the Wuji Sword Sect. We can't be bothered about the others, but Cho Tsing Hui, you are a proud son of heaven. Today, our create-evolved mysterious sect has mobilized more than half of our forces to kill you. The only thing that awaits you is death. The words of the few transcendent experts were filled with killing intent. When they thought of the humiliation that Tsing Hui had brought to the create-evolved mysterious sect time and time again, they couldn't wait to crush his bones and scatter his ashes. However, considering the task that Daoist Master He Tian had given them, they had no choice but to vent their anger with words. They also wanted to give Tsing Hui some time to seek help from esteemed Zhu Zhao. I think your create-evolved mysterious sect really doesn't want to survive in the eastern wilderness. I didn't go looking for you, but you came knocking on my door first. Since that's the case, I'll send you on your way in advance. Then, I'll directly kill my way into your mountain gate and uproot your entire create-evolved mysterious sect. As Tsing Hui spoke, the aura around his body suddenly surged. He cast the divine art, and in the next moment, the golden crow divine body that emitted endless divine light appeared behind him. Endless light and heat spread out in a mighty manner. In just a few breaths, the temperature in the void had risen sharply. Eternal resplendent. After casting the golden crow divine body, Tsing Hui completely disregarded the consumption of his true yuan. The golden crow divine body's strongest killing move, Eternal Resplendent, was immediately cast. A terrifying explosion formed a strong light that pierced through the clouds, shining brilliantly in a radius of dozens of kilometers. Watch out! This is the Golden Crow Divine Body's area of effect killing move, Eternal Resplendent. Even true energy realm experts would be killed on the spot if they were hit by it. Attack with all your might. Tear this light apart. The transformative realm and true energy realm experts of the Create-Evolve mysterious sect shouted at the same time. One by one, they manifested the power of their divine bodies. Shadows of spirit beasts and divine beasts of different shapes roared and rushed into the endless brilliance formed by Eternal Resplendent. Each of them displayed their divine powers and had the potential to completely tear this flame brilliance apart. Is it going to work? Xing Hui sneered. In the next moment, the true Yuan Qi Void technique, or rather, the technique that only the transformative realm experts could use to precisely control their true Qi was activated. 30% of the true Yuan in his body was compressed by him in one breath and turned into the eternal resplendent light again. In an instant, a more violent light and flame swept across the void. The explosion created a large area of extremely high temperature, heating and compressing the surrounding air, causing it to rapidly expand and create an unprecedentedly high-pressure shock wave. Moreover, as Xing Hui gradually understood the element fission, while the eternal resplendent formed a strong light radiation in the surrounding air, it also produced various kinds of rays and radioactive fragments. The strong pulsed rays radiated outwards and interacted with the surrounding substances, causing the intensification and disappearance of the electric current. As a result, an even more violent electromagnetic pulse was produced, causing the eternal resplendent, which could only cause damage to true energy realm experts, to become even more powerful. Oh no! Wait, this is not the normal eternal resplendent. Damn it, retreat! 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 Transformative realm. Transformative realm. He has already broken through to the transformative realm and used the means of the transformative realm to produce a power that is far beyond the normal eternal resplendent. Ah! Quick! Stop this destructive power! All sorts of cries of shock and agony rang out from the creation mystical sect's crowd. Even though Taoist Tianding, Taoist Golden Cicada, Taoist Beidou, and a few other peak experts who relied on divine arts to possess endless realm battle prowess, roared furiously and unleashed their innate abilities with all their might, they were still unable to fend off this round of resplendent eternity. In an instant, the two true energy realm experts who were closest to Yi Shiwen screamed miserably as they were torn into pieces by the various radiations, shock waves, and electromagnetic pulses. Even the remaining true energy realm and transformative realm experts were more or less affected. They screamed and retreated rapidly. Leave. Do you think you can leave? Amidst the endless explosions and resplendent light, Xing Hui sneered. His figure was like a messenger of death walking in flames. He had already broken through the blockade of Taoist Golden Cicada, Taoist Tianding, and Taoist Northern Dipper, who were trying their best to stop the explosive power of the eternal resplendent. The huge figure of the Golden Crow divine body swept up a dazzling grand sun true fire and charged toward one of the transformative realm experts who had sealed off the void. This transformative realm expert was Dao Keming, one of the three founding elders of the Create-Evolve mystical sect who was in charge of handling the sect's affairs. The moment Xing Hui's claw came down with the power of the Golden Crow divine body, Dao Keming let out a roar. At the same time, the aura of the divine arts appeared on his body. His spiritual battle body expanded and released a mighty thunderous attack, trying to confront the sharp claw of the Golden Crow divine body head-on. The moment the two forces collided in the void, a ball of fire seemed to condense under the sharp claw of the Golden Crow divine body. An energy more violent and raging than the eternal resplendent turned into a dazzling divine sword and slashed into Dao Keming's battle body. Then, it exploded. Sun Glory. Rumble. The scale of the glorious sun sword was smaller than the previous resplendent eternal sword, but its power was not much inferior. Carrying endless light and brilliance, the glorious sun sword completely blasted Dao Keming's manifested body into ashes. Ah! Dao Keming screamed as the Golden Crow divine body's sharp claws tore into his body. Spiritual Master Tian Ding, Spiritual Master Golden Cicada, Spiritual Master Beidou, and the others roared furiously as the Golden Crow Divine Body's claws incinerated the creation mystical sex transcendent cultivator. No! Martial Uncle Dao. Chou Tsinghui. I want you dead. Immortal Tian Ding, Immortal Golden Cicada, and Immortal Beidou seemed to have gone mad as they manifested their battle bodies. The phantoms of the Ting Serpent, Golden Cicada, and Bai and roared toward the sky and pounced on Tsing Hui's Golden Crow Divine Body. You're courting death. Tsing Hui's fierce roar rolled out from the endless flames. Then, the endless light of the Golden Crow Divine Body erupted again. A new round of eternal resplendent bloomed and the world was swallowed by the terrifying light and flames again. Kill! After using the resplendent force of the eternity to block the attacks of the three peak experts, Qing Su shot through the air again. Like a streak of light, he heavily collided with the battle avatar of a true energy realm expert. Dazzling flames of the Grand Sun shot out from the Golden Crow avatar, tearing the battle avatar of the true energy realm expert to pieces in a single instance. Afterwards, the Golden Crow avatar slashed down, and the true energy realm expert was quickly reduced to ashes as he screamed out. Today, let's see how many people of the Create Evolve mystical sect can leave the Yunhuang mountain range alive. Chapter 404. How could this be? How could this be? This. Too powerful. This kind of strength is simply too powerful. In a forest not far from the battlefield, three figures watched the fierce battle in the air. Their eyes were filled with surprise and even shock. One of them was Dao Xuani, the sect leader of the Create Evolve mysterious sect, and the other was Dao Xianfeng, the former sect leader who had broken through to the transformative state. These two old sect leaders of the Create Evolve mysterious sect were so shocked that their eyes almost popped out of their sockets when they saw Tsing Hui slaughtering the Create Evolve mysterious sect's people in the void. The other person who was shocked, it was Dao Master He Tian. To be more precise, he had sent down a Golden Core Realm clone, waiting for the Venerable Zhu Zhao to respond to Qing Su's call for help. He was the Dao Lord of Black Heaven who would kill the Venerable Zhu Zhao in a single stroke. However, the development of the situation had obviously exceeded his expectations. Divine-grade Golden Crow combat body. Moreover, it is said that he has cultivated 2 meridians at the same time. From the looks of it, his Golden Crow divine body has reached the transformative state, and it is only a matter of time before his Torch Dragon divine body reaches the transformative state. Zhu Zhao has really taught a good disciple. I didn't expect such a genius to exist in a remote continent like the Eastern Wilderness. If he is in danger, Zhu Zhao will definitely not turn a blind eye. Dao Master He Tian looked at Tsing Hui, who was slaughtering in the void, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Of course, Zhuo Qingshu's combat prowess was nothing to him, who stood at the pinnacle of the cultivation world and was second only to the divine invincible giant. However, Zhuo Qingshu's outstanding talent was truly astonishing. He had never imagined that esteemed Zhu Zhao had unwittingly cultivated such a genius disciple in the Eastern Wilderness. If Zhuo Qingshu was allowed to continue growing, he might become another Broken Sword or Yulan. Esteemed envoy, please save the elders of the Creation Mystical Sect, alright? Chou Tsing Hui's strength is far more terrifying than we thought. In these few months, not only did he break through to the true energy realm, but he also stepped into the transformative state. With the strength of his Golden Crow divine body, he has become the most powerful person in the Eastern Wilderness. If this goes on, it won't be long before all the elders of the Create Evolve mysterious sect will be killed by him, and he will break through the blockade of the Create Evolve mysterious sect and escape. Dao Xianfeng at the side hurriedly. A bunch of trash. You can't even handle such a small matter. Not only did you spoil my plan, you even had to make me do it. Dao Master He Tian reprimanded Dao Xianfeng with dissatisfaction. Dao Xianfeng did not dare to refute and repeatedly said, "Esteemed envoy, it's not that our Create Evolve mysterious sect is not capable enough, but Chou Tsing Hui is too monstrous. Since he became the disciple of esteemed Zhu Zhao, his speed of growth has broken our limits time and time again, beyond our imagination. When we thought he was still in the green hell realm, he had already cultivated to the vision divine stage and easily killed 2 of our supreme elders. When we thought we understood his strength and besieged him, he unleashed the power of the Golden Crow divine body and the Torch Dragon divine body. Coupled with the recovery characteristics of the 10th level, he directly turned the situation around and caused us to suffer heavy losses. Now, in just a few months, he has broken through the barrier between the longevity realm and the saint realm, and has become a top figure in the saint realm. Moreover, he has directly stepped into the transformative state of the 2nd level of the saint realm. It's simply impossible to measure with common sense. On the side, Dao Xuanyi hurriedly chimed in as well. Lord Envoy, you may not know this, but this child Qing Su's talent has indeed far exceeded our imaginations. His talent might even surpass Can Jian and Yulan, the 2 capable disciples that esteemed Zhu Zhao nurtured earlier. Ha! This boy's talent is actually above Savage Sword and Yulan. These 2 people are top geniuses who have cultivated to the almighty realm in less than 300 years. Their talent is so high that it's quite rare even in Infinite Region. Esteemed Envoy, do you know how long it took Chou Tsinghui to cultivate to this realm? How long? 8 years. Only 8 years. Dao Xuanyi said confidently. Before Chou Tsinghui became esteemed Zhu Zhao's disciple, his talent was ordinary. He lived for 22 years in vain and was only at the Tendon's transformation realm in the mortal realm. However, after he became esteemed Zhu Zhao's disciple and received guidance from esteemed Zhu Zhao, he cultivated to the transcendent realm of the 2nd level saint realm in just 8 years. Moreover, he cultivated the Golden Crow and the Torch Dragon divine body. His talent is so high that it's simply incredible. If this boy is not eliminated and continues to grow at this speed, I'm afraid that in 10 or 20 years, he will definitely become a powerful person. In 8 years, he cultivated from a mortal to the transcendent realm of the 2nd level saint realm. Moreover, his combat strength is so strong that under the enhancement of the divine skill, he is almost as strong as an ordinary gold core expert. Dao Xuanyi's words finally made Dao Master He Tian take it seriously. If such a monster was allowed to continue to grow, it was not impossible for him to surpass Savage Sword and Yulan and reach a higher realm in the future. Thinking of this, Dao Master He Tian could not be bothered to continue watching the show. He waited for esteemed Zhu Zhao's incarnation to arrive. In a flash, he rushed toward the battlefield in the void. If I can't destroy esteemed Zhu Zhao's incarnation, then, killing a genius disciple that you have spent so much effort to cultivate will not be in vain. Chou Tsinghui. Die! Dao Master He Tian roared. Behind him, a huge black shadow appeared. It seemed to be a divine beast, heavenly rock. A powerful divine soul pressure mixed with a vast and majestic energy impact came crashing down. Tsinghui, who was fighting fiercely with the transcendent realm and true energy realm experts of the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect, suddenly changed his expression. Impossible! How can there be such an expert in the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect? Tsinghui was shocked. He immediately released his true energy and was about to retreat. However, at this moment, Dao Lord Black Heaven slammed down with his empty hand. The palm strike contained a power that could make the soul sink. As this clone of his was originally meant to deal with Venerable Zhu Zhao, the strength of the soul in the clone had basically reached 90% of his original strength. Even though Qing Su's cultivation had broken through time and time again in the past few months, and the level of his soul had risen from the 88th step to the 89th step under the nourishment of the essence Qi, he was still bewildered by the mysterious power in the palm strike that seemed like a bottomless abyss. The moment he suddenly woke up, Dao Lord Black Heaven's thunderous strike had already landed on the golden crow above him with devastating power. Rumble. A mighty and terrifying explosion swept out with the golden crow divine body as the center. The invincible power of Dao Master He Tian, which was far beyond that of an ordinary golden elixir realm expert, destroyed Tsinghui's golden crow divine body in the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's transformative realm and true energy realm experts in the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect and exploded into flames. It was as if a scorching sun had fallen in the void. Endless light and heat dyed the area dozens of kilometers in a dazzling radiance. The moment the Golden Crow divine body was destroyed, Tsing Hui's divine soul was violently impacted. His face turned pale and blood gushed out of his 7 orifices. The incarnation of an Almighty. The incarnation of an Almighty. This is the incarnation of an Almighty at the pinnacle. Tsing Hui immediately recognized the identity of the figure that carried a mighty and majestic aura. His heart suddenly felt as if it had fallen into an endless abyss and became cold. The incarnation of an Almighty was already extremely powerful. The power of an Almighty at the pinnacle was even more terrifying. What made Tsing Hui feel the most despair was that this Almighty at the pinnacle had actually sent down a Golden Elixir Realm main battle incarnation. This incarnation was an extremely huge burden even for an Almighty at the pinnacle. If his incarnation technique was not high enough, the weakening effect of such a main battle incarnation would be enough to cause him serious injuries. The Create-Evolved Mysterious Sect was only a subsidiary force of the Heavenly Tao. How could it be worthy of an Almighty at the pinnacle of the Heavenly Tao sending down a Golden Elixir Realm main battle incarnation? Could it be that the Create-Evolved Mysterious Sect Master was the descendant of this Almighty at the pinnacle? You can actually survive one of my attacks. As expected of the Golden Crow divine body. However, this is the end. The Black Heaven Tao Master's voice reverberated in the void. In the next moment, a terrifying power that seemed to be enough to cause the void to crack continuously condensed in his palm. Even though it was just the beginning, the despairing power that was emitted from it already made Tsing Hui feel a suffocating pressure. Under the pressure of this power, Tsing Hui could not resist. Even the inner yuan in his body seemed to have slowed down and almost stopped. Divine Soul. Divine Soul. This is the power of the Divine Soul. The effect of the Golden Elixir Realm cultivation coupled with the Divine Soul of an Almighty at the pinnacle was not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Torch Dragon. Completely ignoring the injuries on his body, Tsing Hui let out a long roar. His powerful spiritual consciousness evolved into a sword of will and brazenly cut through the interference brought about by the Black Heaven Tao Master's Divine Soul. At the same time, the Torch Dragon divine body brazenly appeared the moment the Golden Crow divine body was destroyed. It was like a firefly trying its best to flicker its own light under the bright moonlight. Light sense deprivation. Child's play. It's useless no matter how much you struggle. The Tao Lord of the Black Heavens displayed an invincible and domineering stance as he broke free from the innate ability of the Green Ruins Torch Dragon in an instant. The claw that could distort space and shatter the vacuum of space once again grabbed at the Torch Dragon. Even though the Green Ruins Torch Dragon tried his best to retract the power of the Torch Dragon, the powerful divine body that could easily crush ordinary Transcendent Realm experts was still crushed to pieces the moment it came into contact with the Tao Lord of the Black Heavens. Ah! It was too big. The gap was too big. A trace of despair appeared in Tsing Hui's eyes as he watched the Torch Dragon divine body explode into a mighty torrent of energy. With his current strength, he might be able to fight against a real Golden Elixir Realm expert. Perhaps it would be difficult for him to win, but it was absolutely impossible for him to be beaten so miserably and without the ability to fight back. However, Tao Lord Black Heavens could not be measured by the standards of an ordinary Golden Core Realm expert. He did not even need to use any innate skills. He had easily crushed Tao Lord Black Heaven's 2 divine-grade battle bodies with his own strength. Powerful. This was a kind of suffocating power. Chapter 405. Good. Kill him. Kill him. He is indeed the Dark Sky Taoist Master. The Heavenly Tao Emissary is too powerful. Cho Tsing Hui's Golden Crow divine body was able to defeat all of us and even killed Master Tao Ku and 3 founding elders. However, he is so vulnerable in front of the great Dark Sky Taoist Master. His 2 divine-grade battle bodies were easily crushed. Cho Tsing Hui, no matter how talented you are, you will definitely die in front of the Dark Sky Taoist Master's incarnation. Even if your master comes, he won't be able to save you. Seeing the invincible dark sky Taoist master, the transcendent realm experts and true energy realm founding elders of the create-evolved mystical sect felt lucky that they had survived Xing Hui's attack and could not help but feel excited. Especially when they saw that the dark sky Taoist master had crushed Xing Hui's 2 divine grade battle bodies with just 2 attacks, they were so surprised that they could not help but cheer. Cho Xing Hui, how dare you go against the create-evolved mystical sect? We have a backer. Today will be your doomsday. Dao Xianfeng and Dao Xuani, who were originally worried, heaved a sigh of relief when they saw that Xing Hui's 2 divine grade battle bodies were crushed one after another. With the golden crow body and the seraphic dragon body destroyed, Qing Su was no different from a tiger whose fangs and limbs had been broken. Even if his master, the Reverend Zhu Zhao, were to descend in person right now, any transformational expert of the creation mystical sect would be able to find the time to kill him in a single blow. At this time, he could completely rest assured and boldly say that Cho Xing Hui, it's over. I can't escape. I won't be able to escape using conventional means. I'll definitely die. Although Xing Hui was close to despair because of the dark sky Taoist master's power, he did not completely collapse. Survival. His only chance of survival was the various abilities given by the Son of Chaos. It was obviously inappropriate to place a drop of essence blood in his personal space and project it to an unknown location with the incarnation technique. His personal space had not been upgraded to the 8th level, so it was not enough for him to use the so-called immortal body tactic. Then, the only way to save his life was to use the teleportation technique. Teleportation, cooldown time, 1 year. If he could upgrade teleportation to the 2nd level, there would be 2 possibilities. One was that his teleportation technique could cover a distance of 2 worlds. As for the other, the cooldown was reduced by half, to half a year. More than 10 months had passed since he had returned from the Fortune mainland. If he could really shorten the cooldown time by half a year after upgrading his transmission technique to the 2nd order, then he could use the transmission technique to escape. Even though there was only half a chance, he couldn't afford to hesitate in this life-and-death situation. As he frantically fled for his life, his consciousness had already entered the Chaos Temple without any hesitation and focused on the Chaos Sun level. As the ranks of the Son of Chaos blurred, the value of the 39th level rose directly to the 40th level. Teleportation. The moment he raised the level of chaos, Xing Hui couldn't care less about his personal space that had been upgraded to rank 8, and directly looked at the teleportation spell at the back. But since he was the first to turn his gaze to the back, he naturally saw the Quan Xing characteristic that was derived when chaos was upgraded to level 40. Backtracking technique? The moment Xing Hui's gaze swept over this name, all kinds of mysteries of this characteristic naturally appeared in his mind. After activating backtracking technique, a time marker will be born on my body. After 24 hours, my condition will be reversed to the moment the time marker was born. After 24 hours, my condition will be reversed to the moment the time marker was born. This method reverses time and space. Reverses one's state of life. In other words, as long as he activated backtracking technique and set up a time marker on himself when he was in good condition, no matter what kind of damage he received during these 24 hours, even if his bones were ground to dust and his soul scattered, he would still be able to return to his original state 24 hours ago. If he chose to place this chaos rank on the teleportation technique, he could reduce the cooldown time of the teleportation technique, and the probability of using it to escape would be 50%. As for the backtracking technique before him, although he had never used it before, and there was no detailed information about it, but, based on the current situation, it would be better for him to preserve his life. Time was of the essence, and Xing Hui didn't dare to hesitate at all. Without hesitation, he selected the backtracking technique and paused for less than a millisecond before activating it. The moment the backtracking technique was activated, Xing Hui could feel a strange change in his body. His body became extremely sensitive to the passage of time, and he could even sense the passage of a millisecond, let alone a second. However, apart from this slight change, he didn't feel any discomfort or abnormalities. At this moment, Taoist Master Black Heaven's attack finally landed on him. The mighty and terrifying heavenly rock shadow carried with it an aura that seemed to be able to swallow the world. Before the attack even reached him, the terrifying aura that far exceeded that of a golden core expert had already caused his body to uncontrollably start to break apart. The golden crow divine body shattered, the torch dragon divine body shattered, and he, who had lost his strongest technique, had no room to resist at all. Die! Along with a calm and matter-of-fact roar, Sing Hui's body exploded on the spot and exploded into ashes. Taoist Master Black Heaven clenched his fist, and the space within a few hundred meters was constantly distorted and chaotic. Any remaining vitality and microbes in this area were all annihilated. I thought he could bring me a little surprise, but I didn't expect him to be so weak. Taoist Master Black Heaven waved his hand, and the distorted space returned to normal. Dead. Dead? Dao Bian, Fan Tian, Immortal Golden Cicada, Immortal Tianding, Immortal Beidou, and Dao Xuani, Dao Xianfeng, and the others who hadn't participated in the battle earlier flew over at the same time with a trace of astonishment on their faces. Zhuo Qingxiu, what kind of terrifying genius was he? The create-evolved mysterious sect had gone all out to kill Tsing Hui, but they had suffered heavy losses at the hands of Tsing Hui. In the blink of an eye, they had lost a transcendent state ancestral patriarch and 3 true essence realm overlords. They were almost facing the tragic fate of being wiped out last time. However, such a terrifying figure, who had caused the create-evolved mysterious sect to suffer heavy losses, couldn't even last 3 rounds in front of the powerful Taoist Master Black Heaven's clone and was killed on the spot. Even though he had the recovery ability of the rank 10 and could be reborn from a drop of blood, watching Taoist Master Black Heaven destroy all the vitality within a few hundred meters was enough to kill him. What else can I do? He's just a cultivator of the transcendent state. Do I have to spend too much effort to kill him? Even if he has a divine battle body, he has to wait until he reaches the peak of the Golden Core realm before he has a chance to fight with me. Taoist Master Black Heaven said indifferently. The exalted emissary is mighty. We deserve to die for doubting your power. The exalted emissary is naturally infallible. Killing a little Cho Tsing Hui is as easy as blowing off dust. Fan Tian, Immortal Golden Cicada, Immortal Tianding, and the others hurriedly bowed and apologized. It's a pity that I've sent such a powerful clone. I'm afraid I'll be in a weakened state for the next 1 or 2 years. However, it's not a loss to kill such a talented chess piece left behind by Zhu Zhao in the eastern wilderness. I'm curious to see how Zhu Zhao will react when he learns that I've eliminated this chess piece. Taoist Master Black Heaven had a playful smile on his face and seemed to be in a good mood. Fan Tian, Immortal Golden Cicada, Dao Xianfeng, and the others wanted to persuade Taoist Master Black Heaven to stay. They even wanted to use his invincible divine power to wipe out the Wuji Sword sect and uproot it from the infinite wasteland world. However, considering that Taoist Master Black Heaven would be in a weakened state for a few more months with every day he stayed here, they did not dare to make this suggestion, which was full of temptation for the create-evolved mysterious sect. Taoist Master Black Heaven did not give Fan Tian, Immortal Golden Cicada, Immortal Tianding, Dao Xianfeng, and the others a chance to speak. Seeing that Tsing Hui was dead and that esteemed Master Zhu Zhao had no intention of sending another main battle clone, Taoist Master Black Heaven immediately rose into the air and directly arrived above the void. Then, the powerful Golden Core clone dissipated with a loud bang, rumble. An energy wave that was many times more terrifying than the dissipation of an ordinary main battle clone swept out in all directions. The clouds within a radius of hundreds of kilometers were completely torn to pieces by this spreading energy. A violent hurricane swept across the void. Even though Taoist Master Golden Cicada, Immortal Tianding, Fan Tian, Dao Xianfeng, and the others were some distance away, the force that blew down still caused the bodies of these transformative and true energy realm experts to sway. They looked at the storm-like torrent of energy in the void with awe. This is a powerful expert. Dao Xianfeng muttered to himself as he looked at the torrent of energy in the void that had not subsided for a long time. If you don't become a powerful expert, you will always be an ant. Cho Tsing Hui is indeed a genius. He has cultivated to the transformative realm in his 30s and is strong enough to fight against the entire Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. However, so what if he is talented? If he doesn't grow up and become a powerful expert, won't he still be unable to escape the fate of being killed by a powerful expert? It's a pity that such a genius died like this. If he didn't choose to go against the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect and joined us instead, his future might not be like this. Humph. What's there to pity? It's good that he died. Anyone who dares to go against the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect must die. The remaining people of the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect were either emotional or resentful. Their attitudes were mixed. However, after lingering for a while, they had to quickly leave this place. The Cloud-Desolate mountain range was also part of the Hunyuan Heaven sect's territory. Such a large-scale battle had most likely alarmed the Hunyuan Heaven sect. If they did not leave as soon as possible, once the news of them leaving the place they were guarding spread, the territories that were originally occupied by the Hunyuan Heaven sect would be taken back. The Create-Evolve Gate and defensive facilities built in those places would also be destroyed. Chapter 406. Time flowed by. Half a day later, a blue Netherworld Realm Vice Hall Master of the Create-Evolve Mystical Sect arrived with 3 elders on his flying sword. He investigated the mountain range, but because the battlefield was in the void, even though the shockwaves caused quite a bit of damage to the ground, this blue Netherworld Realm Vice Hall Master misjudged the intensity of the battle. He only thought that 2 or more prominent Divine Stage Hall Masters had fought here and caused serious damage. For a time, the Primal Chaos Heaven sect had no choice but to increase their defensive strength. At the same time, they pulled out the Tian Yuan division that had just been cleaned up and expanded the scale of the Tian Yuan division to ensure that they would be able to detect experts of such level entering the Primal Chaos Heaven sect's territory immediately. Soon, night fell and the mountain range that had been ravaged during the day returned to peace. The moon set and the sun rose. On the second day, the sun shone down, bringing endless light and vitality to the entire world. Around noon, it was so sudden that there were no signs at all. Xing Hui's figure suddenly appeared in the empty void. The moment Xing Hui's figure appeared, an uncontrollable fear emerged in his eyes. At the same time, he rapidly retreated as if an enemy was chasing after him. Evidently, his memory was still stuck at the moment when he was killed by the Black Sky Dao Master. But a moment later, he seemed to think of something and swept his gaze around. He saw the messy mountains and forests below his feet and then looked at the empty void around him. He let out a long sigh. Black Sky Dao Master. Xing Hui raised his head and looked in the direction of the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. His eyes gradually turned cold. Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. These words were filled with biting cold killing intent. Black Sky Dao Master, I, Xing Hui, will remember today's death. One day, I will flatten the heavens and make you pay with your blood. Xing Hui's voice was low and deep as he quickly flew toward the desolate cloud mountain range. The backtrack art was so powerful that it defied common sense. If he had used the backtrack art the moment before he was ambushed by the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect's people, he would have resurrected on the spot and recovered to his peak state. Unfortunately, when he used the backtrack art, not only was his Golden Crow divine body destroyed, but his Torch Dragon divine body was also destroyed. The destruction of one's divine body would harm one's spirit. Even with Xing Hui's level 10 recovery ability, such injuries would take more than a month to completely recover. Swish! Xing Hui rapidly and quickly entered the depths of the desolate cloud mountain range. Both of his divine bodies were crippled, and his divine soul was severely injured. He was currently in a weakened state, and at this time, any prominent divine stage expert could kill him in one strike. Therefore, he didn't dare to fly too far away. Only God knew if there were any spies of the Creation Transformation Mysterious sect in the surroundings. After finding a relatively hidden forest, he hid there. I have 4 strands of primordial spirit chi in my body, which can accelerate the recovery of my injuries. However, to completely recover from such injuries, I still need to rely on my level 10 recovery ability. It was so dangerous this time. If it wasn't for the backtrack art, I'm afraid I would have died on the spot. Xing Hui's expression was gloomy. While his spirit world was faintly suffering from a headache due to his spirit being destroyed, he also diverted a part of his consciousness to look at the backtrack art on the Son of Chaos panel in the Primal Chaos Temple. After experiencing it personally, he could already confirm that with the backtrack art, it was equivalent to having an extra life. As long as the backtrack art was active, no matter how much he courted death, he wouldn't truly die. 1 month, the same cooldown as the divine art, but it's a little longer. However, if used well, it can still produce an incredible effect at a critical moment. After all, the backtrack art retraces the state of one's life. At the moment the backtrack art is activated, if one's primordial spirit is abundant, then after 24 hours, I can borrow the power of the backtrack art to restore my primordial spirit and state of life to their peak state. It can often play an incredible role in battle. Moreover, the cooldown of the level 1 backtrack art is 1 month. Xing Hui calculated in his mind. According to the law of the divine art's cooldown reduction, when he upgraded the backtrack art to level 5, even if it didn't undergo any mutation, he could still use the backtrack art once every 2 days. If he could produce a mutation or upgrade the backtrack art to level 10, this special skill was bound to be extremely powerful. As long as there was no one guarding his corpse, or if the enemy wasn't strong enough to kill him in a short time, he wouldn't be able to die even if he wanted to. Xing Hui glanced at the backtrack art, then at his personal space that had been upgraded to level 8. 2 more levels, and he would be able to complete the magnificent feat of an immortal body, but at this time, such a powerful feature had appeared. The various abilities born from the Son of Chaos were truly irresistible. This was especially true in the later stages. The later the stage, the more astonishing the abilities born. Even Xing Hui, who could raise his primordial spirit by 1 level in 3 months, felt that his primordial spirit was far from enough. I need Dao rhymes and more items to carry the Dao, Xing Hui said in a low voice. The Create-Evolved Mysterious sect had attacked him time and time again. If he didn't destroy the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect, how could he vent his anger? However, in order to destroy the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect, he had to figure out the true relationship between the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect and the Heavenly Tao. Why was the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect able to invite a peak almighty from the Heavenly Tao to send a powerful incarnation of the Golden Core realm to kill him? Was there someone or something important in the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect? If he didn't figure out the reason, even if he rashly attacked the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect to take revenge, he would still be unable to escape the misfortune of being killed by the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect's almighty. With the Heavenly Tao's ability, it was possible that it didn't know about the backtrack art when the primordial spirit reached level 40. If he came back from the dead too many times, the Heavenly Tao would suspect that the backtrack art was an ability that only Sons of Chaos at level 40 possessed. The consequences would be serious. Create-Evolved Mysterious sect. You'd better pray that there's something in your sect that the Heavenly Tao has to protect. There will always be an Almighty watching for you to ensure your safety, otherwise. A cold glint flashed across Xing Hui's eyes. After a while, he closed his eyes and took out 2 of the remaining 4 strands of primordial spirit chi. There was no point in thinking about this now. Everything had to be done first to recover the damage to his divine soul and recondense the Golden Crow divine soul and the Torch Dragon divine soul. 25 days later. After recovering, Xing Hui appeared in the office of the Primordial Spirit Chamber of Commerce in the Chaos Divine Palace. There was always a Son of Chaos stationed here. Yan Huang, Xian Long, Lord Zhenhai, Ling Yu, and the other Sons of Chaos who belonged to the Life Moon Alliance took turns to take up the post. Yan Huang was currently in charge of staying here. When he saw Xing Hui, Yan Huang hurriedly stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Sir. Are there any high-paying commissions recently? This. Not at the moment. Currently, the highest reward is still the previous 2. One is Su Xiao, the young lady of the Divine Grace Trading Company from the Hidden Sword Continent. She offered 200 Taoist rhymes. The other one is Lin Qin, a core member of the Heaven Hunting Alliance from the Kongli continent. She offered 180 Taoist rhymes. As for the rest, the price is much lower. The highest reward is only 30 Taoist rhymes. Xing Hui had seen the commission to kill a 10th level heavenly rock before. It was already beyond the scope of his strength. Only a peak almighty or a supreme giant of the Saint Realm could send down their strongest main battle avatar. Now that the situation in Infinite Region was unstable, how would those important figures, who were equivalent to the stabilizing force of the sea, dare to send down their avatars and endure a year or even a few years of weakness? Oh. Su Zhao's commission hasn't been completed yet? Xing Hui asked. Now, half a year had already passed. No, but 4 months ago, an expert in the Golden Elixir realm with a divine-grade battle body and a divine-grade vital essence snuck into the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce. He wanted to secretly assist President Su Xiao of the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce, but he was betrayed by some people in the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce who secretly sided with the North Moon Peak. In the end, the North Moon Peak set a trap and killed him. It is said that in the next 4 months, no one dared to accept this commission. They have such powerful financial resources, but they were forced into a corner. That's right. Right now, the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce is in a difficult situation, and it's completely dependent on Su Zhao's support. The other elders have already secretly sold off their businesses. Everyone estimates that this young lady of the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce, Su Xiao, can only last for 1 or 2 years at most before she has to make a choice. She can either give the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce to the other peaks and keep a sliver of autonomous rights and interests, or she can only be swallowed by the North Moon Peak. Xing Hui nodded. Currently, the Divine Grace Trading Company was in a difficult situation in the Hidden Sword sect. It would be better if they could meet Hidden Sword Venerable, but they couldn't. If he guessed correctly, apart from the North Moon Peak, the big shots of the other peaks who were qualified to meet Hidden Sword Venerable were also eyeing the Divine Grace Trading Company. This was the main reason why the descendant of the Hidden Sword Venerable's disciple couldn't meet Hidden Sword Venerable. It was just that those big shots didn't do it as openly as the North Moon Peak. They were all waiting for Su Xiao to lose her patience and come to beg them. Then, they would swallow the Divine Grace Trading Company. Then, tell me more about the mission on the Kongli continent. The mission on the Kongli continent? Yan Huang was slightly stunned. Then, he quickly reacted and said, yes, I will go and collect all the new information about this mission. Xing Hui nodded. He was still hesitating about whether to accept the mission on the Kongli continent. But now, he couldn't be bothered to continue hesitating. He was almost killed by the trap set by the Black Heaven Taoist master of the Create-Evolve Mysterious Sect and the Heavenly Tao. He was holding back his anger, but he couldn't do anything to the Black Heaven Taoist master. There might be almighty existences guarding the Create-Evolve Mysterious Sect. He would be asking for trouble if he went there. Therefore, he could only cause trouble for the Heavenly Tao on the Kongli continent. Didn't the Heavenly Tao occupy the Kongli continent and leave behind the Heavens Will Palace? Then, he would help the Heaven Attacking Alliance destroy the Heavens Will Palace and overthrow the Heavenly Tao's rule on the Kongli continent. Chapter 407. Yan Huang went to collect information related to the Kongli continent and returned to his personal space in less than 2 hours with a faint joy on his face. Sir, we have the latest news. The Heaven Attacking Alliance seems to have increased the reward. Although the Tao runes are still only 180, they are willing to take out 1,000 high-grade dust cleansing stones as an additional reward. Dust cleansing stones? 1,000 high-grade dust cleansing stones. It's exactly 1,000 high-grade dust cleansing stones. Xing Hui's eyes lit up slightly. Dust cleansing stones were the same as other ores and spirit stones. They had 3 grades, ordinary, high-grade, and peerless. Among them, the ordinary dust cleansing stones had a Tao rune of 100 cubes. High-grade dust cleansing stones were even more expensive. 10 cubes were equivalent to 1 Tao rune. As for peerless dust cleansing stones, the price reached an astonishing 1 Dao rune per cube. Of course, this was the price that Heaven Dao sold to the outside world. After all, they monopolized the dust cleansing stone market. If ordinary people wanted to buy from them, they would naturally have to follow their price. However, according to this price, there would still be people buying from time to time. 1,000 high-grade dust cleansing stones, the price of 50 to 60 Dao runes could definitely be sold in the black market. 180 Dao runes, plus 50 to 60 Dao runes, the total reward would reach 240 Dao runes. Xing Hui, who originally intended to take this commission to make Heaven Dao unhappy, immediately said without hesitation, "Contact this person for me." Yes. Yan Huang was startled and immediately agreed. He quickly went to contact the person. This dust cleansing stone is a hot commodity. The Heavenly Dao monopolizes the market for dust cleansing stones and is very strict with the unrecorded sales of dust cleansing stones. Thus, dust cleansing stones are often only traded and sold in the black market. My incarnation technique can barely be used to intimidate those regular merchants, but if I go to the black market and face those audacious cultivators who want to rob me, my weak nature will immediately be exposed. Thus, if the dust cleansing stone really wants to make a move, I'm afraid I'll have to rely on the channels of the Heavenly Dao. Xing Hui calculated in his heart. However, he had not obtained the 1,000 high-grade dust cleansing stones yet. He was not in a hurry for the time being. Everything had to wait until he understood the situation of the Kongli continent before making a decision. Buzz! Just as Xing Hui was pondering, a figure suddenly appeared in his personal space. Seeing this figure, Xing Hui was surprised. Tianwen. He still had some matters to discuss with Tianwen. Your Excellency Pak Hui. Heaven's Inquisition was a little surprised to see Xing Hui, but he quickly bowed. Congratulations, Your Excellency Pak Hui is safe and sound. Why do you say that? We also have some part-timers in the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. They sold us some strange information, but now it seems that this information is obviously fake. A part-time member of the Create-Evolve Mystical sect. Xing Hui immediately guessed what information Heaven's Inquisition was talking about. Did he tell you that I was killed by the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect? Your Excellency White Ruins is right, but I don't really believe his information. After all, according to our knowledge, Your Excellency White Ruins has already broken through to the true energy realm. Based on Your Excellency White Ruins' formidable battle strength that annihilated all the true energy realm and vision saint realm experts of Yellow Dragon sect not long ago, the Creation Profound sect might be able to defeat you, but it's still insufficient to kill you. It's not enough. Xing Hui shook his head. No, you're wrong. I was almost killed by the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. Heaven's Inquisition's expression suddenly turned serious. Could it be that there are still hidden experts in the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect? Your Excellency Pak Hui, I wonder if you can sell this information to me? If the value of this information is high enough, I'm willing to pay you 2 Daoist rhymes. There aren't any hidden experts. As for the 2 Daoist rhymes, there's no need for that either. However, I can use this information to make a deal with the Mystery Pavilion. Your Excellency Pak Hui, please speak. Heaven's Inquisition said seriously. The Create-Evolve Mysterious sect doesn't have the power to kill me. The one who really attacked me is a pinnacle almighty from the Heavenly Dao, one of the 36 Dao Masters, Black Heaven Dao Master. It's actually Black Heaven Dao Master. With the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect's level, they shouldn't be able to invite a pinnacle almighty like Black Heaven Dao Master. Moreover, as far as I know, the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect's superior is only an ordinary almighty from the Heavenly Dao. He hasn't reached the level of Black Heaven Dao Master. Heaven's Inquisition instantly frowned. You don't understand, and I don't understand this either. Furthermore, even if Black Heaven Dao Master really has a close relationship with the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect and followed their request to send a clone to deal with me, logically speaking, it should only be a never-ending realm clone. After all, with Black Heaven Dao Master's strength, a never-ending realm clone is more than enough to deal with an ordinary golden core realm expert, let alone me, Chode Xinghui. However, it just so happened that the Black Heavens Daelord's incarnation had reached a shocking level of the Gold Core realm, to the extent that I didn't even have the qualifications to fight back before him and was instantly killed. If it wasn't for the fact that I possessed a life-saving treasure bestowed upon me by a senior, I would have probably died there. Golden Core Realm. Black Heaven Dao Master actually mobilized a huge force to send a Golden Core Realm clone. Heaven's Inquisition was shocked and his face was filled with disbelief. Which person or force in the entire Eastern Wilderness is worthy of Black Heaven Dao Master mobilizing a huge force to send a Golden Core Realm clone to deal with them? This is the reason why I don't understand. What is the relationship between the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect and the Dark Sky Dao Lord? Or did the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect discover some incredible treasure, so the Dark Sky Dao Lord did not hesitate to send a Golden Core Realm incarnation to protect it? In short, there are many suspicious points in this matter. What I need you to do is to investigate why Create Evolve Mysterious Sect is so favored by Black Heaven Dao Master. Heaven's Inquisition nodded solemnly. I understand. I will report this information to the higher-ups and let the higher-ups mobilize the part-time staff in Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, and even the official members to investigate. If there is a result, I will let you know. Thank you very much. Xinghui nodded and asked after a while, you didn't come here just to confirm whether I'm dead or not, right? That's only one of the reasons. I have good news in my hands. I wonder if Your Excellency Pak Hui is interested. Oh, tell me about it. I wonder if Your Excellency Pak Hui has heard of the Dust Cleansing Stone. Dust Cleansing Stone. Xinghui glanced at Heaven's Inquisition and quickly thought of something. He said indifferently, Your Excellency Heaven's Inquisition should be referring to Lin Qin, a core member of the Heaven Crusading Alliance of the Kong-Li continent. It seems that Your Excellency Pak Hui has also seen this commission. Heaven's Inquisition was not surprised. This commission was one of the most expensive in the Chaos Divine Palace, so it was reasonable for Xinghui to know about it. In fact, the Heaven Crusading Alliance offered 180 Dao rhythms to seek help from others to overthrow the Heaven Will Palace. This matter has aroused our general curiosity. You should know that the Kong-Li continent is not rich in Dao rhythms. Even if there is, it has been completely cleaned out by the Almighty of the Heaven Dao. After a few hundred years, it might be possible to unearth a few dozen Dao rhythms, but 180 Dao rhythms is simply an extravagant hope. Therefore, we specially went to investigate the source of these Dao rhythms. In the end, we made an interesting discovery. Does Your Excellency Pak Hui want to hear it? 2 Dao rhythms is enough. Qing Su frowned. He only had 4 points of Daoist presence left on him. Speak. Right away. But according to the rules, Your Excellency Pak Hui, please sign this transaction contract. Heaven's Inquisition smiled as he took out a contract that he had prepared beforehand. Xinghui glanced at it and signed his name. After completing the contract, Tian Wen's smile became even brighter. According to our investigation, the reason why the Heaven Hunting Alliance was able to take out 180 Daoist rhymes at once is because they found a small dust stone mine. This mine was unearthed due to the earth shaking, and it produced tens of thousands of dust stone mine. Of course, this mine was already occupied by the Heaven Will Palace, but because the Heaven Hunting Alliance obtained more than 30,000 dust stone mine from this mine, they were able to sell it for more than 100 Daoist rhymes. Because of this, they were able to offer such a large sum of money to experts in an attempt to find someone to help them overthrow the Heaven Will Palace's rule and liberate the Kong-Li continent. More than 30,000 cubes of dust cleansing stones were only sold for more than 100 Dao rhymes. Xinghui felt a little strange. Naturally, it was greatly suppressed by the traders. The Heaven Crusading Alliance had no choice but to sell it. Then, your information is, according to the Heavens Will Palace's dust repellent stone mine, the quality of the mine is not bad. The Heaven Alliance has excavated more than 30,000 ordinary dust repellent stones, but there should be more than 2,000 ordinary dust repellent stones among the ordinary dust repellent stones. In addition, there should be more than 100 supreme dust-repellent stones. In other words, the Heaven Alliance should have 300 Tao ripples worth of materials in addition to 180 Tao ripples. Heaven's Inquisition quickly added, 300 Tao rhythms is obviously a high price, but there should be 150 to 180 Tao rhythms. 150 to 180 Tao rhythms worth of resources. In addition to the 180 Tao rhythms worth of resources they have, a business deal worth over 300 Tao rhythms. The Heaven's Secrets Pavilion really knows how to do business. I'm afraid you'll sell this information to any faction that shows interest in the Kongli continent. Heaven's Inquisition said modestly, sorry, this is how the Heaven's Secrets Pavilion survives. If we don't do this, how can we afford to keep so many spies? I understand. Within half a year, I'll place the 2 Tao rhythms worth of resources at the designated location. Then, I wish us a happy cooperation. Heaven's Inquisition smiled and took out a jade talisman. This is a piece of information given to me as a friendly gift when we were both members of the Eastern Wilderness. It contains the general information of the Heavens Will Palace's higher-ups. It's free. Qing Su did not hold back when he saw this and accepted it directly. Heaven's Inquisition bade farewell and left quickly. Xing Hui flipped through the jade talisman Heaven's Inquisition took out. After all, the Heavens Will Palace was a faction left behind by the Heavens Will Palace. If there were any old monsters hiding there, he might fail miserably. It was better to be careful. Chapter 408. As Xing Hui flipped through the information, his heart gradually calmed down. There was no discrepancy between the information and the heaven-punishing alliances. There were indeed only 6 true energy realm experts guarding the Heavens Will Palace. In addition, there were 4 prominent divine realm experts and more than a dozen green netherworld realm experts. On the Kongli continent, many almighties from the Heavenly Tao, Divine Wilderness, and Eternal Realm had once engaged in a large-scale battle there, shattering the earth veins of the Kongli continent, causing the yuan qi of the Kongli continent to become unprecedentedly scarce. Currently, without the help of external forces, it was difficult for cultivators to reach the green netherworld realm, let alone the prominent divine realm. After the Almighties from the Heavenly Tao left, they had originally sent some Golden Core realm experts to guard the place. However, due to the lack of yuan qi, these Golden Core and Endless Realm experts actually showed signs of regression. In addition, most of the dust-repelling stones had been dug up, so these cultivators were naturally unwilling to stay on the Kongli continent any longer. Currently, of the 6 true energy realm experts stationed here, 2 were local experts, while the other 4 were unlucky people who had been ostracized by their sections. They were all mediocre people. While Xing Hui was flipping through the information on the Heavens Will Palace, Yan Huang and a woman with a black veil appeared in this personal space. As soon as they arrived in the personal space, Yan Huang immediately introduced Qing Su, "Sir, this is the representative Lin Qin left in the Chaos Divine Hall." As Lin Qin has been targeted by the people of the Heavenly Tao after she released the information, she no longer dares to expose her mental imprint so easily, so she's not in the Chaos Divine Hall. If we want to accept the request, we need to talk to this lady Lin Jing first. Lin Jing. Xing Hui's gaze fell on the woman wearing the black veil. I'm willing to accept your commission. Regardless of the method, you will see the destruction of the Heavens Will Palace within half a year. Half a year. Lin Jing was slightly stunned. My lord, why do you say within half a year? The Almighty behind me will use a special method to send someone to the Kongli continent and let him be responsible for destroying the Heavens Will Palace. Or will the Almighty behind me send an avatar to the continent next to the Kongli continent? You don't need to ask anything else. You just need to see the destruction of the Heavens Will Palace. Then, Lin Jing hesitated for a moment. Sir, because our heaven-punishing alliance has been hit hard recently, we can't give you a deposit in advance to ensure your safety. Can't give a deposit? If I destroy the Heavens Will Palace, how am I supposed to get my due reward? Well, in order to make it easier for us to complete the mission, we have slightly modified the details of the mission. This mission will no longer be carried out as a whole, but will be divided into individual missions. There are 6 demon kings and 4 demon commanders in the Heavens Will Palace. Every time the 6 demon kings kill someone, record their image, or take their head, our Heaven Attacking Alliance will give them a Tao-carrying object with 30 Tao rhythms and 100 upper-grade dust-leaving stones. The lives of the 4 demon commanders will be worth 100 upper-grade dust-leaving stones. 6 great demon kings and 4 great demon marshals. Are you referring to the 6 true energy boundary cultivators and the 4 prominent divine boundary cultivators? Xing Hui nodded. Sure. My lord, you agree. That's great. I'll make preparations now. When the time comes, I'll contribute my spiritual imprint to you and wait for your arrival. Qing Su frowned when he heard that. He made some preparations. Was she worried that he was a member of the Heaven's Will and would send a main battle clone to destroy them? Sure, but you'd better choose a place with a lot of people. Xing Hui responded expressionlessly. They waited for a total of 5 days. During these 5 days, Xing Hui's main body didn't go to the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Instead, he chose to return to the ocean. Such a powerful almighty figure had suddenly appeared in the creation mystical sect, and this scene made him feel slightly uneasy. Once the creation mystical sect found out that he was still alive, who knew if the creation mystical sect would invite another almighty figure to send down a prime combat clone to hunt him down. There was no need for a golden core realm cultivator, as a Daylord's never-ending realm avatar would be enough to defeat him. Under such circumstances, it was better for him to keep a low profile and return to his home ground in the ocean. With the sacred beast Xuanwu overseeing the ocean, as long as Xuanwu was alert, not to mention the true energy boundary and transcendent realm experts of the creation mystical sect, even never-ending realm and golden core realm experts would be immediately detected if they approached the ocean region where Xuanwu was. As one of the 6 divine saints, it definitely had the ability to do so in the ocean. Moreover, he planned to use the incarnation technique to accept the commission and obtain the benefits worth more than 300 Taoist rhymes. During this period, he didn't have much time to wander around. In order to ensure efficiency, he was very likely to inject the Son of Chaos power in his main body into the body occupied by the incarnation technique. This way, his main body would be in a very dangerous situation. It was always right to be as cautious as possible. It's been 5 days and the creation mystical sect still hasn't sent the spiritual imprint over. It seems that the creation mystical sect encountered the danger of an almighty directly sending a main battle clone to kill them in the name of accepting the commission. That's why they're so careful about a spiritual imprint. Xing Hui lamented for less than an hour. Lin Jing, whom he had met once before, finally appeared in his personal space. Greetings, my lord. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. As soon as Lin Jing appeared, she hurriedly apologized to Xing Hui. Considering the uniqueness of his incarnation technique, Xing Hui pretended to be unhappy and said unhappily, "All right, give me your spiritual imprint as soon as possible. You have to know that I'm actually just doing something for the Almighty behind me. You've delayed for 5 days because of a small spiritual imprint. I don't know if the Almighty behind me is dissatisfied with this and is still willing to send a person to help you complete this commission. I'm really sorry, my lord. Please put in a good word for us in front of that senior. Our creation mystical sect really needs that senior's help to help us overthrow the Heavens Will Palace. I'll try my best to talk to you, but I can't guarantee that it'll work." Xing Hui said unhappily. "I'll leave everything to you, my lord." Lin Jing bowed deeply and offered her spiritual imprint. "All right, I'll explain it to that lord," Xing Hui said and quickly left the open space. "I hope they have the right person for the location they choose," Xing Hui muttered to himself. However, just as he was about to use the incarnation technique, he seemed to have thought of something. The backtrack technique can rewind a person's spiritual state to the moment when the backtrack technique was used. I wonder if this technique can avoid the weakening effect of the incarnation technique? Now that a month had passed, the backtrack technique had cooled down. Xing Hui, who was eager to understand the various uses of the backtrack technique, quickly put his plan into action and activated the backtrack technique in one fell swoop. It's really amazing. Xing Hui could not help but sigh as he felt his extremely keen sense of time. The next moment, he activated the incarnation technique. Suddenly, his consciousness seemed to have left his body and rapidly shuttled through the void. In an instant, he crossed tens of millions of miles of space and was projected onto a new continent, Dragon Tooth City. It was a famous city in the cloud sky kingdom of the Kongli continent. At this moment, in the bedroom of a courtyard in this city that was even more luxurious than the city lord's mansion, a middle-aged man with a bandage on his head slowly woke up. There was a trace of unnaturalness in his eyes. I almost failed at the last hurdle. The middle-aged man muttered to himself. Then, as if he was not used to this voice, he coughed slightly. Master! Master! Master is awake, Master is awake. Soon, the surprised cries of the maidservants could be heard in the room. Then, there was a flurry of people coming and going at the door. Not long after, more than a dozen people had entered the room. Master, you're finally awake. I told you, Master, heaven helps the worthy. You'll definitely be fine. That quack also said that Master's head was severely injured and that you'll be paralyzed from now on. Even if you can wake up, you'll be muddle-headed and delirious. Now that I think about it, it sounds like nonsense. I'll have the servants smash his shop tomorrow. More than a dozen people in the room were chattering, making the middle-aged man dizzy. He shouted in a deep voice, "Stop arguing, all of you get out. Don't disturb my rest." The middle-aged man seemed to be very dignified in the house. After being shouted at by him, the dozen people all kept quiet out of fear. After a while, they all said, "Yes, yes, yes. Master, rest well. Get well soon. Master, your health is more important. Master, if you have any orders, just say the word. We'll wait outside." After saying that, everyone left one by one. The room quickly quieted down. However, outside the door, there were still many people coming and going. Whether they were flattering or trying to curry favor, they were obviously paying attention to the movements in the room at all times, trying to find an opportunity to perform well in front of this middle-aged man to show their loyalty. I didn't expect this adventure to succeed, the middle-aged man, it should be Ching Su right now. His expression was rather strange. Clearly, he was rather curious about how he had managed to transform into this middle-aged man successfully this time. Lin Jing did as he said, choosing a place with a lot of people. It was a manor outside the city. Unfortunately, there wasn't anyone suitable to transform into in that manor, or even in the surrounding 100 kilometers. Although his spiritual power had increased, he could only maintain a fugue state for a stick of incense's time. Seeing that there was no suitable candidate, and that this middle-aged man seemed to have suffered a severe head injury and his mind was impaired, he could only impatiently enter the middle-aged man's body and use him as a vessel. Fortunately, he succeeded. The Tier 5 transfiguration allowed him to reincarnate into the body of an adult who was mentally handicapped due to postnatal reasons. Chapter 409. Xing Hui carefully sensed the middle-aged man's consciousness in his spiritual world. The middle-aged man's consciousness had been severed from his body due to the severe injury to his head. Without the replenishment of energy from his body, his consciousness was on the verge of dissipating. Xing Hui muttered to himself for a moment and quickly withdrew the consciousness. However, even with that being the case, the consciousness was still fragmented and incomplete. Ching Su estimated that even if he gave the body to the consciousness, he would still end up like what the doctor had said. He would remain in a daze like a vegetable, neither alive nor dead. It seems to be more serious than the one on the Chongjian continent. A strand of primordial spirit aura might not be able to repair it. Xing Hui sensed it and felt regretful. He only had 4 strands of primordial spirit aura left in his body. If he wanted to repair this consciousness, he would have to spend at least 3 strands. Such a large investment had already exceeded his expectations. Xing Hui immediately put this broken consciousness aside. At the same time, with a thought, the Son of Chaos interface that belonged to his main body was immediately added to this body. For a moment, the wound on his head healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. In a few breaths, his injuries were completely healed. Not only that, but because he was old, many of the hidden ailments on his body were quickly reversed under the effect of the 10th order recovery ability. His body, which had originally felt heavy, had become refreshed in the time it took for a stick of incense to burn. Very good. Xing Hui moved his body slightly. With this, he immediately sensed that he actually had a cultivation base in his body. Although it was not strong, it had reached the blood transformation realm, which belonged to the peak of the mortal realm. He only needed to take one more step forward to be able to awaken and enter a whole new world of the 6th level of immortality. My original plan was to use this body and spend some resources to raise it to the green netherworld realm or even the prominent divine realm. Then, I would return this body to the original consciousness and let it control the dust-cleansing stone mine on this continent. But now, this body's consciousness is broken. Once I leave, it will immediately return to its original state. It will not be easy to support it. Xing Hui was somewhat hesitant. However, this hesitation only lasted for a moment before it was thrown to the back of his mind. Even if he invested a few dozen or even a few hundred Taoist rhymes in this body, as long as he could complete the mission of the Heaven Punishment Alliance, he would be able to recoup his investment. I've prepared quite a bit of the Golden Crow's blood, as well as the Flame Destruction Pill, which is slightly inferior to the Sunfall Pill. In Xing Hui's mind, the cultivation method of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique flashed across his mind. Immediately after, the qi and blood in his body began to boil rapidly. The divine soul of the Golden Crow in his body formed a partial projection and directly condensed into the divine soul of the Golden Crow in this body. Once the Golden Crow divine soul was formed, an endless stream of energy began to transform this body, causing it to grow stronger and stronger. The transformation process naturally required the support of energy. At that moment, Xing Hui refined a drop of the Golden Crow's blood. With the replenishment of the Golden Crow's blood, his entire body began to transform internally and externally. In less than an hour, his body had been strengthened to the extreme and his true qi was naturally derived. Once the true qi was formed, it would be classified as a divine grade true qi. After condensing the divine grade true qi, Xing Hui was like a hot knife through butter as he continued to push this body's cultivation. When the power of the first drop of Golden Crow's blood was completely exhausted, his true qi cultivation had already reached the middle stage of the true qi realm. Xing Hui did not hesitate and took out the second drop of Golden Crow's blood and refined it. 4 hours later, his cultivation had been pushed to the spirit refining realm. Then, another drop of Golden Crow's blood. When the next day's sun pierced through the curtain of night and illuminated the world, Xing Hui had already refined 2 sets of 20 drops of Golden Crow's blood. His cultivation had also risen to the peak of the spirit qi unity realm in one go. If it was not because he was worried that breaking through to the Qing Ming realm would cause too much of a commotion and that it would be inconvenient to cultivate in such a city, he would have already stepped into the Qing Ming realm. Heavens will palace an organization supported by the heavens a pity, it will be destroyed soon. Xing Hui squinted his eyes, a cold glint could be seen in the depths of his eyes. As Xing Hui pushed open the door and stepped out of the room, the guards and servants who were looking in his direction from time to time suddenly became alert and quickly came forward to welcome him. "Master, you've gotten up. This little one will go and prepare a bath for you." "Congratulations, Master, you've survived this great disaster and will definitely have good fortune in the future." "Master, second Miss received news that you were attacked and is currently rushing over from the Heavens Will Palace in the Cloud Sky Country. She also brought Precious Dawn to help Master recover sooner." The servants and the captain of the guards came forward again and greeted Xing Hui, who looked like a middle-aged man. Heavens Will Palace in the Cloud Sky Country. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat, but his expression did not change. He rubbed his head bitterly and said, "My mind is still not clear. Tell me, what happened and why am I suddenly lying here?" The captain of the guards was slightly startled, but then he bowed and said, "Master, did you forget that you were attacked by the rebels of the Heaven Attacking Alliance 3 days ago? Your 4 personal guards were all killed and you were seriously injured and fainted. If Master Piao Yuan was not nearby, I'm afraid you would have been in danger." Speaking of this, he seemed to have thought of something and hurriedly said, "This is most likely the Heaven Attacking Alliance's revenge against the third miss for encircling the rebels of the Heaven Attacking Alliance half a month ago. These rebels of the Heaven Attacking Alliance are getting more and more arrogant. They actually dared to openly attack a great noble of the Cloud Sky Kingdom, an outer court elder appointed by the Heaven's Will Palace." Outer court elder? Xing Hui did not expect that he would have such an identity in the Heaven's Will Palace. This surprised him. "Okay, from now on, collect information about the Heaven Attacking Alliance. Since they dared to attack me, I will definitely make them pay the price." Xing Hui waved his hand. "Master, don't worry. The first miss, second miss, and third miss will not let those rebels go," the captain of the guards said with a smile. He did not take Xing Hui's fierce words to heart. Xing Hui returned to his room and directly used the wandering spirit control technique to wander around the courtyard. He learned the identity of the person he was occupying from the words of the servants. Su Fei himself did not have much ability, but he had 4 good daughters, and each of them was more outstanding than the other. The eldest daughter, Su Ying, married the son of a grand elder of the Heavens Will Palace in the Heavenly Cloud Country, giving the Su family a good start. The second daughter, Su Ying, was brimming with talent. Relying on the resources given by her elder sister, she was able to cultivate to the spirit refining realm before the age of 30. Moreover, her cultivation was of the saint grade. As for the third daughter, Su Qiubai, she was even more outstanding. Not only did she awaken the divine grade Kunpeng bloodline and cultivate divine grade True Qi, but the son of a vice palace master of the Heavens Will Palace loved her to death. He gave her many resources and divine weapons. As for the fourth daughter, Su Yuyu, although she was not as dazzling as the second daughter, Su Ying, and the third daughter, Su Qiubai, she had already shown her talent by cultivating divine grade True Qi. One must know that due to the destruction of the earth veins of the Kongli continent, the level of the heaven and earth's yuan qi here was even worse than the Fortune continent, let alone the eastern wasteland. Even the Golden Core realm cultivators who were known for their flawless cultivation would regress here. Even the never-ending realm cultivators were getting weaker by the day. Even the 6 true element realm cultivators were relying on medicinal pills to maintain their cultivation. From this, one could see how scarce the yuan qi here was. Under such circumstances, cultivating to the spirit refining realm before the age of 30 was comparable to cultivating to the green netherworld realm before the age of 30. Their talent is not bad. If they have enough resources to support them, the Spirit Chi Unity Realm and the Green Netherworld Realm would only be a matter of time for them. Just like Naylan Fei in the past, if not for Xing Hui's endless resources, Naylan Fei might not have been able to step into the Green Netherworld Realm before the age of 50. Xing Hui thought that if these 4 girls were filial enough to this so-called father of his, he could try to nurture them into the future representatives of the Kongli continent. In short, even if he had to return the Kongli continent to the native cultivators, he would still destroy the heavenly Tao's rule over the Kongli continent. Very good, the backtrack technique can indeed make up for the weakness caused by the incarnation technique. With the backtrack technique, I can do my best to send down a main battle incarnation every month. I don't have to worry about the terrifying consequences of the incarnation technique. One day later, Xing Hui sensed that his body had recovered to its peak condition and smiled. As expected of a characteristic derived from the 40th order of the primal chaos realm. It was indeed extraordinary. After understanding the wonders of the backtrack technique, Xing Hui focused his attention on the Kongli continent. In this day, he had a rough understanding of the Kongli continent, the Heavens Will Palace, and the Heaven Attacking Alliance. The Kongli continent was not small compared to the infinite wasteland domain. However, 600 years ago, the heavenly Tao, the divine wasteland, the eternal wasteland, and even the supreme giants of the divine realm fought on this continent, causing the earth veins of the entire continent to crack and sink into the sea. In the past 600 years, the entire continent had been submerged by the sea intermittently, causing the entire continent to shrink by a third. Although the continent's main plate was only 20,000 kilometers long and 10,000 kilometers wide, there were many large islands with diameters of thousands of kilometers around it. If these territories were included, the continent's surface area would not be inferior to half of the eastern wasteland. Because many of the islands were blocked by the sea, the Heavens Will Palace could not manage them, allowing the Heaven Attacking Alliance to have some space to live. In addition, the Heavens Will Palace had gradually declined over the years. Apart from the 6 true energy realm experts, there were only 4 prominent divine realm experts, a dozen blue underworld realm experts, and hundreds of spirit and chi uniting realm experts. Currently, the Heaven Attacking Alliance had 1 principal and 2 vice principals, 3 prominent divine realm alliance leaders. There were many elders and grand elders in the spirit and chi uniting realm. Lin Qin was one of the core elders in the spirit and chi uniting realm. She was also one of the daughters of the alliance leader, Lin Zhutian. Chapter 410. A medium-sized continent that was not much inferior to the eastern wilderness has completely declined because of the war between the heavenly Tao, the divine wilderness, and the eternal chaos. The earth veins have collapsed, and the vitality on this continent is constantly flowing away, and it is gradually sinking to the bottom of the sea. At this rate, the cultivation world of this continent will gradually die out in 1 or 2,000 years, or even 10,000 years. I'm afraid that it will not be able to produce a blue netherworld realm expert by then. As Tsing Hui learned about the Kongli continent, he could not help but be shocked by the power possessed by the heavenly Tao, the eternal chaos, and the divine wilderness. A continent with a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers was actually shattered by these peak experts. It was terrifying just thinking about it. It must be known that even if Tsing Hui used his Golden Crow divine body, which was extremely proficient in destruction, and controlled his own vital energy to slash out with the sword of the glorious sun, he could at most destroy a small island with a diameter of 20 kilometers. The shockwave would then spread out to hundreds of kilometers, which was still a long way from shattering a continent with a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers. It seems that it is not accurate to judge the heavenly Tao, the divine wilderness, and the eternal chaos through the eyes of the heavenly Tao, the 3 sects, the 6 religions, and the 9 gates. Although the 1 hall, the 3 sects, the 6 religions, and the 9 gates are the top forces on heaven wasteland, the 3 sects, the 6 religions, and the 9 gates, but the heavenly Tao, the divine wilderness, and the eternal chaos, are clearly stronger than the heavenly Tao, the sword will, the 6 religions, and the 9 gates, and they have the ability to wipe out the entire world. Doesn't that mean, these 3 forces together can defeat the entire world? As Tsing Hui analyzed, he could not help but be more wary of the heavenly Tao. It seemed that, he had to be more prepared for the war between the heavenly Tao and the heavenly Tao. Only if the heavenly Tao defeated the heavenly Tao and had the advantage of being the son of chaos could it possibly defeat the heavenly Tao. If the heavenly Tao was defeated in the war, even the various characteristics of being the son of chaos would be taken away. What awaited the heavenly dome was the inevitable crushing of the heavenly dome into dust. The heavenly Tao, the second miss is back, the second miss is back. Just as Tsing Hui was thinking of ways to weaken the heavenly Tao, a series of cheers came from outside the courtyard. Afterwards, Qing Su heard the sound of a sword flying through the air. Very soon, a woman in a blue dress who seemed cold and beautiful descended. "Captain Pu, where is my father? How is his injury?" "Second miss, don't worry. Master has already recovered. It seems that he didn't suffer any injuries." The captain was the captain of the guards that Tsing Hui had exchanged for. He was an awakening realm cultivator. In fact, the entire Su family had 6 awakening realm cultivators and 1 true Qi realm cultivator. However, in the attack of the Heavenly Tao Alliance that night, the true Qi realm commander and the remaining 3 captains had all died in battle. However, it was thanks to their desperate protection that the Heavenly Tao Palace's elder, Pu Yuan, had arrived and saved Su Fei's life. During the conversation, the girl in the blue dress, Su-ing, had quickly arrived in the room. When she saw Tsing-Hui safe and sound, Su-ing let out a sigh of relief. "Father, it's great that you're fine. It's all third sister's fault for being reckless. She actually let a group of people escape when encircling the Heavenly Tao Alliance's stronghold. If she could have killed them all, you wouldn't have had to face such danger." Tsing-Hui looked at the 29-year-old woman in front of him. Due to her cultivation, she looked like she was in her 20s. He felt a little unnatural. He had lived 2 lives and had yet to get married. However, because of the incarnation technique, he even had a daughter. He felt that the way this woman addressed him was very strange. "Father, are you okay? I heard from the doctor that you seem to have injured your brain. Will there be any hidden dangers?" "No. This time, no matter what, I can't listen to you. Father, let's pack up and leave Dragon Tooth City. Let's move to the Heavenly Tao Palace. I've now become one of the top 10 true disciples of the Heavenly Tao Palace. Third sister has also grown up. With big sister's care, Father, as long as you go to the Heavenly Tao Palace, I guarantee that you won't have to worry about your own safety. At that time, we can boldly encircle the Heavenly Tao Alliance's people, make contributions, and obtain more resources from the Heavenly Tao Palace to reach a higher realm." Su-ing saw that Tsing-Hui did not speak, so she asked worriedly. "I'm fine." Tsing-Hui quickly adjusted his state of mind. Hearing that Su-ing said that he could go to the Heavenly Tao Palace, he wanted to investigate the situation and then act according to the circumstances. He immediately said, "After the encounter a few days ago, I really feel that Dragon Tooth City is no longer safe. It's great that you can take me to the Heavenly Tao Palace." "Father, you agree? That's great. I thought you would say something like it's hard to leave your hometown." "That's great. I'll send a message to Big Sister and let her arrange it." "Well, I'll leave this matter to you sisters," Tsing-Hui said, pondering over the words that a parent should say. He said meaningfully, "How are you sisters in the Heavenly Tao Palace? Did you encounter any difficulties?" Su-ing immediately looked at Ching Su in surprise when she heard that. "Looks like the attack this time has really woken you up. In the past, you've never asked about the matters of the Heavens Will Palace. In fact, sometimes, you'd even say things like supporting the Heavens Will Alliance to overthrow the Heavens Will Palace. In that case, we have to thank the Heavens Will Alliance for their attack. You've finally understood the evil and chaotic nature of this organization. That's all in the past. I now see their true colors." Tsing-Hui covered it up. "That's great. I'll ask the servants to start packing. We'll prepare to go to the Heavenly Tao Palace. Father, are you going to move to Big Sister's place or my place?" "Big Sister is in the Cloud Sky Kingdom. She's in the branch of the Heavenly Tao Palace in the Cloud Sky Kingdom. I'm in the headquarters of the Heavenly Tao Palace in the Sky-Bearing Mountain Range. The headquarters of the Heavenly Tao Palace in the Sky-Bearing Mountain Range has the 33 layers of Heaven's Punishment formation set up by the ancestors of the Heavenly Tao Palace. It's enough to ensure that you can sit back and relax. The Heavenly Tao Alliance's several large-scale rebellions were defeated by the 33 layers of Heaven's Punishment formation. However, there are relatively more rules there. I'm afraid that you won't be used to it. Let's go to the headquarters of the Heavenly Tao Palace in the Sky-Bearing Mountain Range. Since we're going to the Heavenly Tao Palace, we'll go there in one step. I also have the same idea. Father, you should rest. I'll ask the servants to start packing. At the same time, I'll ask the Heavenly Tao Palace's battleship to come and greet us." A smile appeared on Su Ying's pretty face. She quickly asked the servants to get busy. The Su family was a big family, so it was not easy to pack up. Fortunately, the Heavenly Tao Palace's battleship also took some time to arrive at the Dragon Tooth City. After 3 days of packing, the Su family carried a series of big and small bags. They were only waiting to load the things onto the battleship to head to the Heavenly Tao Palace's headquarters. However, just as Tsing-Hui was about to board the battleship, a servant in charge of carrying the family's belongings passed by him. Although there was no movement, Tsing Hui, who had sharp senses, sensed that there was something extra on him. When no one was paying attention, Su Fei took out this thing and quickly found a piece of paper that was made of a soluble material. "I'll bide my time and act according to the circumstances." Tsing Hui looked at the few words written on the paper. Holding the paper, he used the temperature in his hands to quickly melt the paper into a trace of water. It was as if his palms were sweating, and a playful smile appeared on his face. "It seems that I've made the right choice in choosing the identity of Su Fei. Not only do my 4 daughters work for the Heavenly Tao Palace, but they also have a close relationship with the Heavenly Tao Palace. This is interesting. Father, come up quickly. The battleship is about to start." On the deck of the battleship, Su Ying, who looked quite valiant in a blue dress, shouted. "Got it." Tsing Hui replied and boarded the battleship. Under the guidance of the servant, he came to the most luxurious and spacious room on the battleship. As the servant served a lot of tea and snacks, the battleship rose into the air in a rumbling sound and disappeared into the clouds. The Heavenly Tao Palace in the sky-bearing mountain range was not close to the Dragon Tooth City. During this time, Tsing Hui secretly observed his second daughter, Su Ying. This Su Ying, it seemed that she was not good at socializing, or perhaps she felt that there was no one on this battleship worth her effort to socialize with. She was devoted to cultivation and could be called a cultivation maniac. However, perhaps because she was still young, she valued family and was very respectful to her father. At the very least, Ching Su had ordered her to do a few rather rude things over the past few days. Although she had tried to dissuade him, she still carried out his orders under his insistence. "I can find a chance to cultivate her a little," Tsing Hui muttered to himself. With his eyesight, he could already see that Su Ying was talented and had a good foundation. It was just that her spirit was relatively weak. If she could have an environment like the Refining God Pavilion to polish her spirit, and with some resources, she would soon be able to break through to the spirit and chi uniting realm. As for the green darkness realm above, as long as Tsing Hui was willing to spend resources, it would not be a problem to pile it up. However, before killing the 6 experts of the Heavenly Tao Palace, he could not act rashly. The battleship maintained a relatively slow speed as it shuttled through the void for a full 10 days. A huge mountain range finally appeared at the end of their vision. However, before Tsing Hui could see the Heavenly Tao Palace in the center of the mountain range clearly, a huge formation over 300 kilometers in diameter enveloped the periphery of the mountain range. The vast and mighty pressure emitted from the formation actually made him, an expert whose fighting strength was not inferior to the never-ending realm, feel somewhat apprehensive. "This is 33-layered heavens formation. Father, this is the reason why the Heavenly Tao Palace is able to guard Kongli and make all the countries pay homage to it." Su Ying looked at Tsing Hui's somewhat shocked expression and explained with a faint smile, "It is said that this formation was left behind by the experts who truly stood at the peak of the Heavenly Tao Palace hundreds of years ago." The number of so-called great experts who died in front of this formation was in the double digits. Although the power of this formation has declined greatly after hundreds of years, as long as the 6 venerables still have this formation in their hands, ordinary cultivators, even the transformative realm experts above the venerables, or even the never-ending realm experts, can be defeated in one blow. As long as this formation exists, no one can shake the rule of the Heavenly Tao Palace in this world. Chapter 411. Tsing Hui's expression turned cold as he looked at the giant array that covered more than 300 kilometers in front of him. The 33-layered Heavenly Punishment Array was obviously a super-array left behind by the Heavenly Tao, the Eternal Realm, and the Divine Wilderness when they were competing for the ownership of the Kongli continent. The opponents of this array were not only ordinary almighties, but also peak almighties and invincible existences in the Divine Realm. After all, more than a dozen almighties had died in this battle, including peak almighties like the Thunder Punishment Taoist Master and the Black Heaven Taoist Master. It would be unreasonable to say that there were no invincible existences in the Divine Realm involved in such a fierce battle. In other words, this array could threaten or even kill invincible existences in the divine realm at its peak. Even if no one had maintained such a terrifying array for hundreds of years and the most precious thing that was used to suppress the array core had been taken away, its power was definitely not something ordinary cultivators could imagine. Even if someone told Xing Hui that the 6 true energy realm experts of the Heavens Will Palace were controlling such a terrifying giant array that could compete with Golden Core experts, he would still believe it. If I'm not wrong, the minimum requirement for this array's power is to be controlled by 6 true energy realm experts at the same time. If any one of the 6 true energy realm experts is missing, the array's power will be greatly reduced or even destroyed. No wonder the Heavens Will Alliance changed the reward. Anyone who can kill any one of the 6 true energy realm experts of the Heavens Will Palace will be rewarded with 30 Taoist rhymes and 100 high-grade dust cleansing stones. The Heavens Will Alliance has a good idea. Xing Hui snorted coldly in his heart. He could already conclude that the Heavens Will Alliance was not easy to deal with. Otherwise, they would not have concealed the existence of the 33-layered heavenly punishment array. There were dust cleansing stones that had not been excavated on the Kongli continent. The battle power of the incarnations of Almighties would be greatly affected. The closest continent to the Kongli continent was nearly 10 million kilometers away, so external threats would not be able to affect them. As long as they could expel the Heavens Will Palace, they could naturally occupy the entire Kongli continent, or even, as long as they could occupy the great formation of 33 layers of heavenly punishment, even if the heavenly axiom wanted to mobilize the cultivators from the surrounding continents, it would still take several years to cross the sea and come here. They would not be able to do anything to them as long as they could rely on the might of the Great Formation. They only needed to face off for a period of time, and those cultivators who could not do anything to the Great Formation would naturally choose to leave. After all, the Yuan Qi on the Kongli continent was too thin. Even true energy realm experts had to rely on elixirs to maintain their cultivation. If Unending Realm and Golden Core Realm experts were unwilling to leave the Kongli continent for too long, not only would they be unable to continue cultivating, they would also face the fate of regressing in their cultivation. In this world, even breaking through to the Qingming realm was a problem. Currently, the 2 true element realm cultivators that were born in this world were experts that were nurtured by the Almighty 300 years ago. The remaining prominent Divine Realm and Qingming Realm cultivators were also born with the help of resources. Thus, Su Ying, a genius disciple who was able to cultivate to the spirit refining realm at such a young age, had a lot of weight in the Heavens Will Palace. The warship easily entered the Heavens Will Palace with her banner and finally stopped at a spaceport. Second sister, you're here. When the warship stopped, a youthful and beautiful girl filled with a lively aura came up to welcome them. Third sister, father is here too. Come and greet father. Su Ying showed a doting smile to the girl in front of her and quickly greeted her. Su Qiubai, who belonged to this body's third daughter, curled her lips and looked at Xing Hui. She said unwillingly, father. However, it was not difficult to see from her eyes that she did not like this father of hers. Third sister, how can you speak to father in such a tone? Su Ying was somewhat helpless towards her third sister. Father is finally willing to leave the Dragon Tooth City and stay in the Heavens Will Palace. Can't you sincerely welcome him? Welcome, welcome. Of course, I welcome you. Su Qiubai said in a very perfunctory tone. In the end, she could not help but mock. This time, you finally know that you're playing with fire by colluding with those people from the Heavens Will Alliance? This time, the Heavens Will Alliance probably made some conditions that you can't agree to. You didn't complete them and that's why the Heavens Will Alliance became angry. Or is this simply a trick you and the Heaven Punishing Alliance are putting on? Third sister, don't talk nonsense. What relationship does father have with the Heavens Will Alliance? Su Ying lowered her voice slightly and spoke to Su Qiubai sternly. Second sister, father is not young anymore. If you continue to allow him to mess around with the Heavens Will Alliance, it will only harm him in the end. When he was in the Dragon Tooth City, it was better. The mountain was high and the Emperor was far away. Even if there was something between him and the Heavens Will Palace, the Heavens Will Palace wouldn't be able to find him. However, now that he is going to stay in the Heavens Will Palace, if we don't make things clear to him, it will bring great trouble to our entire Su family. Su Ying felt that Su Qiubai's words were reasonable. In the end, she could only whisper to Tsing Hui, "Father, from now on, don't have any contact with the people of the Heavens Will Alliance. The Heavens Will Palace is different from the Dragon Tooth City. There are many peak experts monitoring here. Once they find evidence of you colluding with the Heavens Will Alliance, our entire Su family will face a disaster." Tsing Hui glanced at Su Ying and nodded, "I know what to do." At this moment, a streak of light suddenly shot over from up ahead, landing on the square where the battleship was. Afterwards, several figures hurried over. The person at the front was a young man. He was handsome and dignified, and he was a true qi cultivator as well. After seeing Qing Su, he immediately went up and bowed. "You must be Uncle Su Fei, right? I, Yang Yuntian, salute you." Yang Yuntian. Tsing Hui looked at the young man in front of him and then glanced at the middle-aged man who came with him. The middle-aged man was half a step behind Yang Yuntian. He was dressed like a guard, but what surprised Tsing Hui was that this person was in the Blue Netherworld realm. It should be known that it was almost impossible for the Blue Netherworld realm to be born in the environment of the Kongli continent. To break through to the Blue Netherworld realm, one must be extremely talented and be on the same level as Broken Sword and Yulan on Tianhuang continent, or be able to obtain an endless supply of resources. Looking at the middle-aged man's appearance, it was obvious that he did not belong to the former. He must have relied on resources from the outside world to achieve what he had today. If so, Yang Yuntian's identity was definitely not simple. Wait a minute. Yang Yuntian. Palace Master Yang Kaigui is. It's my father. Yang Yuntian said with a smile. Immediately, Tsing Hui understood the young man's identity. He was the son of Yang Kaigui, the vice palace master who pursued Su Qiubai and was completely infatuated with her. Yang Kaigui was also very impressive. He was the descendant of Yang Shao, one of the two native true energy realm experts of the Heavens Will Palace. Furthermore, he was close friends with the other true energy realm expert, Huang Fupeng. As for Huang Fupeng, his background was even more impressive. He was the descendant of a native female cultivator of the Kongli continent who had a night with the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. Unlike the four true energy realm experts who had been left behind by the heavenly Tao to await their deaths, Huang Fupeng, the descendant of the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord, was the only person who had the hope of leaving the Kongli continent to explore Tianhuang continent. Therefore, Huang Fupeng had a supreme position in the Heavens Will Palace. Yang Yuntian's grandfather was Huang Fupeng's sworn brother and was also the third generation of the top officials in the Heavens Will Palace. So it's young Master Yang. Young Master Yang is indeed elegant and talented. A smile appeared on Tsing Hui's face. Perhaps he could find a way to control the 33 layers of heavenly punishment formation from Yang Yuntian. Once he could successfully control the 33 layers of heavenly punishment formation, he would not be afraid even if the heavenly Tao sent experts to try and take over the Kongli continent. Uncle flatters me. When I heard that Uncle planned to settle down in the Heavens Will Palace of the Sky-bearing mountain range, I immediately found a courtyard on the Heavens Will Peak of the Heavens Will Palace for Uncle to live in. The peak of the Heavens Will Palace is the core of the 33 layers of heavenly punishment formation. The 6 elders of the Heavens Will Palace usually live in seclusion on the peak. When they control the formation to look down on the continent, they can also use the power of the formation to draw in large amounts of yuan qi from the surroundings. Cultivating near the peak of the mountain is 3 times faster than in ordinary places. Furthermore, because the yuan qi is much denser there, it is much easier to break through to a higher cultivation level there. How considerate of you to actually, Qing Su smiled. Just when he was about to praise Yang Yuntian and praise him for his wisdom, Su Qiubai could not help but say, Yang Yuntian, I appreciate your kindness, but only the elders of the sect can live in the courtyards near the top of the mountain. My father has no authority in the Heavens Will Palace, nor has he made any contributions, so how can he live in a place like that? As a result, it's best if you take your courtyard back. I'll take my father to stay with me and second sister. Chobai, you're in second sister's place, you should call her senior sister Sue. Alright, alright, alright. Senior sister Sue is senior sister Sue. Although senior sister Sue's place is a precious place, how can it compare to the courtyard I gave to uncle in terms of spiritual chi? If you and senior sister Sue had moved to that courtyard to cultivate earlier, your cultivation would probably have been 1 or 2 minor realms higher than it is now. Chobai, why can't you understand my kindness? I don't need your kindness. Yang Yuntian, do you think I don't know what kind of person you really are? Before Su Chobai could finish speaking, she was severely interrupted by Tsing Hui. Third girl, how can you speak to nephew Yang like that? Gifting this courtyard to Yang Kai was nephew Yang's good intentions. Fellow disciples from the same sect often see each other, so how could he refuse again and again? Since that courtyard is also good for your cultivation, I'll make the decision. Thank you, nephew Yang. When the time comes, the two of you will also move to that courtyard, understood? Father. Su Chobai called out in dissatisfaction. Then it's decided. Tsing Hui waved his hand, not giving Su Chobai a chance to refute. Turning to Yang Yuntian, he cupped his fists and said with a smile, many thanks for nephew Yang's generous gift, allowing me to have a place to live. In the future, nephew Yang and our Su family will have to visit each other more often. Yang Yuntian was overjoyed when he heard this. Of course, of course. Our Yang family's courtyard is nearby, less than a kilometer away. When the time comes, I'll definitely pay you a visit. Ha, then I'll be waiting for nephew Yang when the time comes. Chapter 412. Tsing Hui and Yang Yuntian chatted happily. Under Su Ying's awkward gaze and Su Chobai's displeased gaze, the group quickly arrived at a location around 4,000 meters away from the mountain peak. This mountain peak was the core of Heaven's Will Palace and was around 10,000 meters tall. Naturally, the 6 true energy boundary experts of Heaven's Will Palace lived within 1,000 meters of the peak. No one from Heaven's Will Palace, including the elders, was allowed to disturb them during normal times. Below that was the residence of the prominent Divine Realm Palace Lords as well as the Qingming Realm experts. The height of the residence was around 3,000 meters. Below that was the residence of the ordinary Qingming Realm and the Spirit Qi Unity Realm experts. The lowest level was the residence of the Spirit Qi Unity Realm experts and the Spirit Qi Unity Realm experts. As for the other cultivators, they did not have the qualifications to live in Heaven's Will Peak. For Tsing Hui and the rest to be able to live 4,000 meters away from the peak, it was already equivalent to the second level of Heaven's Will Peak. Only the heavens knew how much effort Yang Yuntian had spent to obtain such a residence. Very good, this place is actually only 4,000 meters away from the core of Heaven's Will Palace. I can take some time to use the Spirit Wanderer Imperial Air technique to understand the layout of this 33 layers Heaven Punishment formation. Once I understand how this formation works, I will be able to take control of this formation and occupy the Kongli continent. Tsing Hui stood in the middle of the courtyard and looked around. He was very satisfied with Yang Yuntian's arrangement. Father, it's best if you don't interact with Yang Yuntian. While Tsing Hui was sensing the location of the 6 true energy boundary experts, Suing came to Tsing Hui's side and advised softly, although Yang Yuntian has shown that he is willing to turn over a new leaf in order to pursue third sister, according to our understanding, Yang Yuntian's reputation was extremely bad a few years ago. He relied on the fact that his father was the first Vice Palace Lord of Heaven's Will Palace to do many things that angered the heavens and caused the deaths of many people. Thus, we should keep a distance from him and reduce the time he interacts with third sister. Not only is it beneficial for third sister, even our Su family may be able to avoid some disasters. Oh, is there such a thing? I saw that Yang Yuntian had a dignified appearance and had an extraordinary demeanor. I thought that he was a good match for the third girl. It seems that I was wrong. I will pay attention to him during this period of time. Tsing Hui said. Yes, father, it's good that you think this way. Your cultivation is still too weak. Even though we've specially brought you some precious resources for your cultivation these past few years to see if you can enter the awakening realm, it's a pity. Firstly, you're too old. Secondly, with your talent, it's much more difficult for you to enter the immortality realm compared to ordinary people. Unfortunately, there's not enough power in this world, and it's too dangerous. Therefore, during this period of time in the Heavenswell Palace, you should focus on cultivating in seclusion as much as possible. Cultivation. Xinghui glanced at Su Ying, who was persuading him softly, "Second girl, I'm actually not a weak person. I think the one who really needs to cultivate is you. You have the highest cultivation among the four sisters. If you can break through to the spirit and chi integration realm and become an elder of the Heavenswell Palace, Yang Yuntian will have to be careful even if he wants to do something to you." Spirit and chi integration realm. Su Ying shook her head. The most important thing in the spirit and chi integration realm is the spirit and chi integration realm. I have a good way to cultivate my chi and entered the spirit refining realm early on. However, even if I keep pushing myself to the limit, the growth of my God soul is still very slow. If I want to enter the spirit and chi integration realm in recent years, I need the help of Heavenswell Palace, and if I want to get the Heavenswell Palace's treasures. Therefore, I have to go out often to carry out missions. Hunt down the members of the Heavenswell Alliance. I heard that the Heavenswell Alliance has been stirring up a storm in the Chaos Divine Palace recently. They've put out a bounty for many experts, and they want to kill the 6 great elders of the Heavenswell Palace. Father, you know about the Chaos Divine Palace? Su Ying looked at Xinghui with a trace of surprise on her face. Could it be that you're also a son of chaos? Xinghui smiled. Don't ask too much about this. In short, the Heavenswell Palace hasn't been very peaceful recently. It's best if you don't leave the area covered by the 33 layers of heavenly punishment formation as much as possible. I know that the Heavenswell Palace hasn't been very peaceful recently, but it's precisely because of this situation that I can seize the opportunity to make contributions. I can kill important members of the Heavenswell Palace to make contributions and exchange them for precious cultivation resources. I can fight for a good future for myself, third sister, and fourth sister. Is there a need to work so hard? This is our duty. For us, eldest sister sacrificed her own happiness and endured the cold words of her family in exchange for precious cultivation resources for us 3 sisters. That's why we have such a good foundation today. Now that our cultivation has increased, eldest sister can no longer provide us with any help. As the second sister, I naturally have to shoulder eldest sister's responsibility. I have to hold up the sky for this family and my 2 sisters. I have to create the best cultivation environment for them and give them good cultivation resources so that they can have a better future. When Su Ying said this, a gratified smile appeared on her usually cold face. Fortunately, I did it. Third sister's achievements are even higher than mine. I believe that our Su family's greatest hope is to be able to flourish in third sister's hands. Third sister. At this time, Xinghui realized that Su Qiubai had awakened the Kunpeng bloodline and had condensed divine genuine qi. Father, although third sister is a little stubborn, she still respects you very much. She doesn't know that you have a relationship with the Heavenswell Alliance. It's not for yourself, it's for the so-called ideal. You're just a hypocrite in order to get more resources. It's because you risked your life when you were young that we were able to join the Heavenswell Palace. You, as a mortal, sheltered us from the wind and rain, and raised us until we were adults. Now, it's time for us to repay you. Therefore, you should rest well in the Heavenswell Palace and take care of everything else. We have already grown up, and you don't need to take risks for us anymore. Qing Su looked at Su Ying. He could vaguely understand that Su Fei might have been colluding with the Heaven-Slaying Alliance for the sake of his daughters. As for the information on the slip of paper that the servant passed to him when he stepped onto the battleship, Xinghui was too lazy to believe it. After all, if it weren't for him, Su Fei would have become a mentally disabled person. Even if it was a trick, he didn't need to make it real. In all likelihood, Su Fei thought that he could secretly infiltrate the Heavenswell Alliance to get secret information for his daughters, and then let them make contributions. However, in fact, the information was secretly released by the Heavens Will Alliance, and there was even some misleading information, a mission spy. However, it was not appropriate for him to ask this question. In the end, he could only pretend to be emotional. Yes, you have all grown up. Third sister is a person who can't keep secrets. Father, I can't tell her what you've done for her, but I will try to persuade her so that she won't quarrel with you. In addition, since you've come to the Heavens Will Palace, you should completely break off your relationship with the Heavens Will Alliance. What I said before was true. The sky-bearing mountain range is not the Dragon-Tooth City. Once the fact that you've been in contact with the Heavens Will Alliance is discovered, the consequences will be unimaginable. Moreover, as I said before, we've all grown up, and you don't need to take risks for us anymore. I have my own plans. Alright, you don't need to deal with the matters here. You can go do your own things. Yes, Father, if you need anything, you can find me directly. By the way, since Father is also a son of Chaos, we can contact you in the Chaos Temple in the future. Let's set a way to contact each other. Oh. We? Yes, third sister is also a son of Chaos. My Chaos level is level 2, and third sister is level 3. Level 2 and level 3 sons of Chaos. When Xing Hui heard this, he couldn't help but be even more impressed by the innate talents of these two sisters. One had to know that even Nalan Fei, as a high-level son of Chaos, couldn't compare to Suing and Su Qiubai's cultivation speed. If these two's Chaos level were to reach Nalan Fei's level, heaven knew what kind of future they would have. Xing Hui, who had wanted to take in a disciple when he was in the Life Moon Alliance, looked at Suing with a slightly tempted gaze. Unfortunately, his identity wasn't easy to deal with. I'll try my best to stay in the Heavens Will Palace. If there's anything I need to discuss with the Chaos Temple, I have a personal space. In a while, I'll give you the Chaos Incantation to enter and leave it. Personal space. Father, you're actually wasting a precious Chaos level on a personal space? Suing frowned. After a while, she said, you've already raised the level of your personal space, so forget it. However, you mustn't waste such a precious opportunity in the future. You have to know that the most important thing for a person is comprehension. Placing the Chaos level on comprehension, increasing it is the right way to go. I have my own plans for the path of a son of Chaos. Xing Hui said and handed the incantation to Suing. In the future, if there's anything you need, just leave a message in my personal space. I'll see it. Oh, right, I'll leave the matter of giving the incantation to the third girl to you. I understand. Okay. Xing Hui nodded and returned to his room. After entering his room, the first thing he did was to project his consciousness into the Chaos Temple. He carved out a space in his personal space specifically for Suing and Su Qiubai to go back and forth. His personal space had reached the 8th level, spanning 100,000 kilometers. It could accommodate the entire Kongli continent. Naturally, it was easy to carve out a small space. After doing all that, Xing Hui's consciousness withdrew from the Chaos Temple. However, just as he was about to transfer his consciousness out of his body, he acutely sensed that there was something wrong with the consciousness that belonged to the original owner of this body, Su Fei. It seemed like it had grown stronger. Chapter 413. This is, noticing the abnormality in Su Fei's consciousness, Xing Hui quickly became serious. Up until now, he had yet to fully understand the mysteries of the Tier 5 doppelganger technique. In order to avoid any accidents, he had to nip all possible problems in the bud. Soon, Xing Hui began to carefully sense Su Fei's consciousness. Originally, Su Fei's consciousness was already broken, and even if it was forcefully condensed, it would still be muddle-headed. But now, while it was still muddle-headed, it had the ability to think. This ability to think came from Su Fei's body, and it seemed to contain a trace of Su Fei's memories. In addition, it also contained a trace of Xing Hui's consciousness. After sensing for half a day, Tsing Hui quickly understood why Su Fei's broken consciousness was able to grow stronger. He actually absorbed the consciousness fluctuations in my spiritual world. A strange look flashed in Tsing Hui's eyes. Su Fei's consciousness had grown stronger after absorbing his consciousness, and it had been branded with his consciousness. That form was like a baby that was like a blank sheet of paper that was being molded by an adult. If there was no external interference, how it would grow up in the future would be completely controlled by the consciousness of that adult. In other words, I can mold Su Fei's consciousness. Although some of the fixed worldviews can't be changed, I can fundamentally change his thoughts, and reconstruct his memories and consciousness. This discovery surprised Tsing Hui, and he was pleasantly surprised. Reconstructing Su Fei's memories from his consciousness was much more useful than brainwashing. Since I need to reconstruct my consciousness as soon as possible, I have to establish my own position. Pulling out Dong Yang's banner seems like a good idea. Dong Yang's position is in the Saint Realm. Then, I'll directly mold Su Fei into Dong Yang's fanatical subordinate. Before I leave, I'll definitely leave a lot of cultivation foundation on him, and it shouldn't be lower than Qing Ming's. It's very likely that he's in the prominent divine stage. I'll also push all of this to Dong Yang's mysterious senior. Memory molding. Dong Yang has been cultivating him for a long time, with the goal of letting him rule the Kongli continent. Su Fei also worships Dong Yang like a god, and is willing to sacrifice everything for him. Various thoughts flashed through Tsing Hui's mind. Originally, he had felt that it was troublesome to choose a spokesperson for the Kongli continent. It would have been best to give the Kongli continent to a native cultivator instead of returning it to the heavenly law. Now that the spokesperson had delivered himself to him, Su Fei, who had his memories reconstructed, would be the best spokesperson. Moreover, since Su Fei's the memories were created by him, he could set his loyalty to Su Fei. With that in mind, Tsing Hui controlled the various strands of consciousness that he had seeped out to seep into Su Fei's broken consciousness. While slowly repairing his consciousness, he also constantly changed his memories and thoughts, causing fragments of memories that didn't belong to him to appear in his mind. At this rate, Su Fei's consciousness will be completely restored in half a month. Moreover, since I've already filled in most of this consciousness and left my spiritual imprint, I won't even need coordinates when I want to descend and possess him. A body like this needs to be properly developed and carefully observed. If there aren't any problems, it'll be much easier to rule the other continents in the future. The consciousness that has just been restored is still too weak, so I'll have to rely on the qi of my primordial spirit to nourish it while staying in my spiritual world to polish it. Tsing Hui then took out a strand of primordial spirit qi and put his thoughts into action. Even though Qing Su would leave behind a cultivation at the vision domain realm in this body, as well as give him the cultivation memories of awakening, true qi, refining aura, merging the qi and the spirit as one, green darkness, and vision domain realms, if the power of the soul left behind in this body was too weak, he would not be able to unleash his full strength even if he had the cultivation realms. Time passed by and night quickly arrived. Feeling the voices in the courtyard gradually die down, Tsing Hui, who had been waiting for a long time, no longer hesitated. Activating the spirit travel technique, his primordial spirit flew out from the top of his head. This formation actually has a suppressive force that targets the primordial spirit. The moment his primordial spirit left his body, Tsing Hui immediately felt a suppressive force from the entire sky-bearing mountain range. Thankfully, this suppressive force seemed to only target the mind and not the primordial spirit. Furthermore, Tsing Hui's primordial spirit had been tempered by the 9 heavens astral wind and was much stronger than an ordinary primordial spirit. Even if he felt his primordial spirit weakening at a much faster rate, he was still able to ensure that it could leave his body. The heavenly Tao is truly worthy of being a large power that is famous for its formations. This formation is able to suppress all spiritual energy means. Even if a powerful existence were to send down an ordinary main battle incarnation, it would probably not be able to do anything to a spirit and qi as one cultivator. Tsing Hui's primordial spirit flew at a relatively slow speed. The closer he got to the peak of the mountain, the more obvious the suppressive force of the formation would be. If not for the fact that Sing Hui's spirit travel technique had already reached the large success stage and had the recovery ability of the 10th order to continuously replenish his primordial spirit would have been completely depleted and he would have no choice but to return to his body. I can at most last for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Sing Hui sensed for a moment before his figure shuttled through the air and arrived at the tall tower where the 6 true energy boundary experts were guarding. The 6 true energy boundary experts of the Heavens Will Palace each occupied a tall tower and formed a circular ring to guard an energy pool. The tall tower absorbed the energy from the energy pool and turned it into a pillar of light that shot into the sky, supporting this gigantic formation that spanned an area of 300 kilometers. Furthermore, Sing Hui observed for a moment. If this gigantic formation was activated at full power, the area it covered could at least be expanded by 3 times, reaching a diameter of over 1,000 kilometers. As expected of an invincible formation left behind by a saint stage expert. Compared to this formation, the creation mystical sex gate of destinies pales in comparison. Sing Hui sighed, and then his primordial spirit sneaked into the tall tower of a true energy boundary expert. This true energy boundary expert was a member of the Heavenly Tao, named Hai Ting. The Heavenly Tao Alliance called him the Thunder Demon King. Of course, the members of the Heavenly Tao Alliance who stayed here were basically exiled and had limited potential and background. It was fine to call him the Thunder Demon King in the Kongli continent, but if a true energy boundary expert dared to be so arrogant in the infinite wasteland world, he would be beaten to death in minutes. Sizzle. As soon as Sing Hui's primordial spirit entered the tall tower, a trace of electric light appeared on the surface of the tall tower, as if it was an electric escape caused by the collision of positive and negative electric ions. Oh no, this tall tower has other formations protecting it. Not only does it have a warning function, but it can also damage the primordial spirit. The sudden change made Sing Hui's expression change slightly. Especially when he felt that Hai Ting in the tall tower had been alarmed, he wanted to turn around and leave. However, when the true energy boundary expert arrived at the area, he only glanced at it in a daze before quickly retracting his gaze. Instead, he muttered to himself, there are more and more problems with the 33 layers heaven punishment formation. Just now, I don't know what kind of malfunction it had. Sigh, the sect didn't even send a formation master to fix it. If this continues, in less than 100 years, this formation will completely weaken. Even a transcendent realm cultivator won't be able to stop it. After that, he did not bother to find out what was going on with the electric discharge just now. After more than 300 years of peace, coupled with the blow of being exiled to the Kongli continent, he had already become numb and did not have the energy to waste time on this formation. Sing Hui, who was about to turn around and leave, saw this scene and could not help but be a little surprised. The Heavens Will Palace. After so many years of peace, it did not seem as difficult to destroy it as he had imagined. After pondering for a while, Sing Hui ignored the weakness of his primordial spirit and entered the tall tower again. This time, Hai Ting did not even bother to check on the electric discharge that had been triggered again. He allowed Sing Hui's primordial spirit to enter the tower, while he remained in his room fiddling with something. Sing Hui did not care about Hai Ting's actions. While his primordial spirit could still maintain its form, he quickly headed to the top of the tower. At the top of the tower, a crystal ball nearly a meter in diameter hovered above a formation. The crystal ball emitted a steady stream of energy, which was absorbed by the formation at the top of the tower. It turned into a stream of light, shooting into the clouds and converging into the 33 layers heaven punishment formation. Sing Hui stared at the formation for a while. Although he knew almost nothing about formations, he could vaguely tell that the tower's main function was to guard and investigate. As for the other 5 towers, they were responsible for the attack, defense, transformation, suppression, recovery, and other functions of the 33 layers heaven punishment formation. This crystal ball is probably not simple. I wonder what grade it belongs to. However, this formation is able to affect Saint Realm experts. As the core of the formation, even if it's a grade lower than the core of the formation, its value shouldn't be lower than the 12th grade. Moreover, As long as I take it away, the 33-level Heavenly Tribulation Formation's alarm and detection ability will vanish. But in this way, it'll definitely be noticed by others, Xing Hui pondered. Seeing that his primordial spirit was getting weaker and weaker, he left the tower and drove his primordial spirit back into his body. Because he had passed through the tower 3 times, his primordial spirit had been greatly exhausted. Xing Hui's face was somewhat pale. Fortunately, he had a slight understanding of the 33 layers Heaven Punishment Formation. Attack, defense, and suppression are the most important. Once the attack is activated, even if I have the strength of a prominent Divine Realm expert, I will probably be instantly killed by the formation. As for defense, it can ensure that they can sit back and relax. No matter how I attack, I will not be able to completely destroy their formation. In addition, suppression can make my strength great generals. This was an unsolvable formation. Fortunately, after several hundred years of peace, the 6 true element boundary masters who were in charge of maintaining the spirit array had slackened their guard, giving him an opportunity to strike. Regardless of the warning, transformation, and recovery, the most important things are the attack, defense, and suppression. At most, I will destroy one of the attack bases. The remaining 5 true energy boundary experts will immediately react. When the formation is activated, whether it is suppression or defense, all my efforts will be for naught. Moreover, I will also act rashly and alert the enemy, Xing Hui analyzed in his mind. I need someone to attract the attention of the 6 true energy boundary experts for me. 2 of the true energy boundary experts in charge of suppression, defense, and attack must be sent away. To do this, the external threat must be strong enough to cause the 4 prominent Divine Realm Palace Masters of the Heavens will Palace to be on the verge of death. The Heaven Punishing Alliance clearly did not have this ability, then, he could only try the Magic Arsenal Transformation technique. I wish everyone a happy National Day. The promise of the Double 10 explosion has been fulfilled. Other than when I was competing for the monthly votes during the Sky Killing Sword Immortal era, I've never worked so hard as I did this week. Fortunately, I didn't let everyone down and completed this great feat finally. I'd like to ask for a recommendation and monthly votes. If you can pull up the subscriptions, that would be the best. Chapter 4:14. Magic Arsenal Transformation. Xing Hui's understanding of this immortal art was still at the entry stage. He could only create soldiers at the true Qi realm and spirit refining realm. If he wanted to create soldiers at the spirit and Qi union realm, green underworld realm, or even prominent domain realm, he would need to make use of powerful spiritual items. The grades of these spiritual items would need to be at least at the 6th, 8th, and 10th grade respectively. Due to the uniqueness of the Magic Arsenal Transformation, the spiritual items created by the 10th grade spiritual items wouldn't have the ability to manifest their battle physique. As compared to a true prominent domain expert, they would be slightly weaker. Although that was the case, but there were too many of them. If dozens of prominent domain experts were to rush forward, even if they weren't able to manifest their battle physique, it would still be enough to render the Heavens Will Palace helpless. If they weren't willing to see the place under their jurisdiction being engulfed in flames and the Heavens Will Palace being annihilated until only an empty box like the sky-bearing mountain range was left, the only way would be to invite those true element realm experts to take action. The price of a 10th grade spiritual item is comparable to a 9th grade divine weapon. If dozens of spiritual items were to be used, that would be hundreds of Tao ripples. I can't afford to squander them. Before I carry out the plan, I should cultivate the Magic Arsenal Transformation to the small success stage first. Xing Hui took a glance at the Tao ripples in his fortune jade. A month ago, he was ambushed by the Black Sky Tao Lord in the Cloud Desolate Mountain Range. He had completely relied on the backtrack art derived from the rank 40 Son of Primal Chaos to escape with his life. At that time, he had already exhausted all the Tao ripples on him. After a month, after deducting his daily consumption, he was left with 30 Tao ripples. With these 30 Tao ripples, it wouldn't be difficult for him to push the Magic Arsenal Transformation to the small success stage. Thinking that it wasn't good for him to be too active since he had just arrived at the Heavens Will Palace, Tsing Hui immediately immersed himself in comprehending the magic arsenal transformation. The magic arsenal transformation was originally a supreme immortal art derived from the Fortune Jade. With the help of the Fortune Jade's deduction, Tsing Hui's cultivation speed could be said to have increased by leaps and bounds. When the Dao ripples in the Fortune Jade were left with 10 Dao ripples, he had already broken through to the small success stage. At the minor completion stage, the effect of magic arsenal was even more obvious. If Huang Xiaolong was willing to part with it, he could use a level 12 origin treasure to create soldiers at the level of Undying Spirit Realm. Of course, as these soldiers were all enlightened by spiritual objects of heaven and earth, their battle prowess was slightly weaker than ferocious beasts of the same level. Although the never-ending realm soldiers had powerful energy levels, the battle prowess they could display might not be much stronger than ordinary transformative realm soldiers. If Tsing Hui's transformative realm main body were to deal with them, it would be easy for him to take on 10 of them. Before coming to the Kongli continent, I had already considered the various problems I might encounter and prepared quite a number of heaven and earth fays. Among these heaven and earth fays, there were 3 heaven and earth fays each, 10 heaven and earth fays, 15 heaven and earth fays, 40 heaven and earth fays, and 100 heaven and earth fays. Tsing Hui counted the number of heaven and earth fays he had on him. It wasn't considered a lot, so he couldn't use magic arsenal too recklessly. Furthermore, his current body was only at the Spirit Chi Unity realm, so the amount of energy he could inject into the soldiers was limited. If he really summoned 40 prominent divine stage subordinates, they would only be able to last for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. I have to find a chance to go out and break through to the green netherworld realm. Tsing Hui thought to himself as he walked out of the courtyard. At the same time, he called out, "Men! What orders does Master have?" Soon after, the captain who was in charge of the courtyard's safety in Dragon Tooth City appeared in front of Tsing Hui. "I need to go out for a trip, but the sky-bearing mountain range is vast. Help me make arrangements." "Go out?" The captain was slightly startled and quickly said, "This Master has only been in the Heavens Will Palace for a few days, and you want to go out already? If it isn't something important, why don't you leave it to us to handle?" Before the captain finished speaking, Tsing Hui's expression turned serious. "Why, do I have to follow your arrangements for my whereabouts?" No, then what are you waiting for? Go and prepare a battleship for me. There's no need for a battleship, it's inconvenient for a battleship to dock. I remember that the Heavens Will Palace has a small flying tool, prepare it for me." Seeing Tsing Hui's resolute expression, the captain could only reply, "Yes, I'll go and arrange it." The captain quickly left as he spoke. However, in less than an hour, the flying tool was not prepared, and Su Qiubai charged into Tsing Hui's courtyard with a look of dissatisfaction. "Didn't you settle the things you wanted to settle before coming? It's only been a few days, why are you in such a hurry to leave the sky-bearing mountain range? Why don't you just stay in the sky-bearing mountain range and make use of the environment here to cultivate? Who knows, you might even be able to break through to the awakened realm." What kind of attitude is this? I just want to go out and take a look, and you're all trying to stop me? Do you want to put me under house arrest in the Heavens Will Palace? I think you didn't leave to go out and take a look, but to send some messages to some unknown people. Nonsense. I obviously want to go out and relax. The Heavens Will Palace is a completely foreign environment, and I'm not used to it. Can't I go out and take a walk? No. Su Qiubai refused without hesitation. "Without my and second sister's permission, you're not allowed to leave the Heavens Will Palace. Of course, you can leave by yourself, but the Heavens Will Palace is protected by the 33 layers of Heaven's punishment formation. Without our disciple's token, you may not be able to walk out of the 300-kilometer radius of the formation. Is this how you treat your father, who gave birth to you and raised you? Everything we've done is for your own good." Su Qiubai finished and did not give him a chance to refute. "When you're able to leave, we'll naturally let you leave, but not now." "Alright, that's it." Stay in the heavens will palace and cultivate your body and mind. With that, she turned and left. This girl, Xing Hui frowned. If Su Ying and Su Qiubai did not allow him to leave the heavens will palace, then that would be a problem. It looked like he could only steal a disciple's token from one of the heavens will palace disciples. In any case, he was just a mortal who had not even reached the awakening realm. Even if something happened to one of the heavens will palace disciples, they would not suspect him. Thinking about this, Xing Hui planned to wait until nightfall to use the Wandering Spirit Imperial Air technique to choose a suitable target. However, before nightfall, not even 6 hours after Su Qiubai refused to let Xing Hui go out, a group of 3 people silently appeared in Xing Hui's courtyard. "Uncle Su, is Uncle Su here?" A cautious voice came from outside the courtyard. Xing Hui opened the door. When he saw the 4 people at the door, he could not help but be startled. "So it's nephew Yang? Please come in, quickly come in. I'll have the servants serve tea." The people at the door were Yang Yuntian, a spirit and Qi unity stage, and 2 true Qi stage subordinates. "Uncle Su, there's no need to be so polite. We came here secretly, so it's not good to alert the servants." Yang Yuntian hurriedly said in a low voice. "Not good to alert the servants? Nephew Yang, Didn't we hear that Uncle Su wanted to go out to relax but was stopped by Qiubai? We came specially to help Uncle Su. Uncle Su doesn't have a disciple's token, but we do. Furthermore, if Uncle Su really wants to go out, you don't need to apply for a flying magic tool from the palace. I have one on me. If Uncle really wants to go out, I can arrange it for Uncle." Hearing this, Xing Hui's face lit up with joy. "Really? That's great. Then I'll have to trouble nephew Yang. I heard that the Maple Forest mountain not far from the sky-bearing mountain range has beautiful scenery. I want to go there to relax. Alright, I'll have Zhang Long and Zhang Hu arrange it." As Yang Yuntian said that, he turned to the Spirit and Qi Unity Stage Elder behind him and said, "I'll have to ask Uncle Zhou to borrow the flying magic tool and let Zhang Long and Zhang Hu drive it out. This is a small matter, but, if the flying magic tool leaves from here, I'm afraid it's a little inappropriate. Yes. If Qiubai knew that I went against her wishes and brought Uncle out, she would definitely be unhappy. Uncle, why don't we go to my courtyard first?" "Alright, nephew Yang is still the most considerate. Uncle is too kind. I only hope that Uncle can put in a few good words for me in front of Qiubai and let her understand my feelings. I'll be satisfied. Don't worry, that lass hasn't been home for a few years and has a wild temper. I'll teach her a good lesson and let her understand what kind of person is a good match for her. Then I'll have to thank Uncle." Yang Yuntian was instantly overjoyed. He immediately arranged for the Spirit and Qi Unity Stage Elder to bring Xing Hui out of this courtyard and into Yang Yuntian's courtyard. "Zhang Long, Zhang Hu, when the time comes, the 2 of you have to listen to Uncle Su's orders and treat Uncle Su's words as my words. If I find out that you've disobeyed Uncle Su in the slightest, be careful of your heads." In the courtyard, Yang Yuntian stood in front of a rank 4 flying magic tool that the elder surnamed Zhou had already taken out and spoke sternly to Zhang Long and Zhang Hu. "Young master, please be at ease. We'll definitely obey Master Su's orders." Zhang Long and Zhang Hu, the 2 true Qi realm cultivators, responded in a sonorous voice at the same time. Yang Yuntian nodded, then turned to Xing Hui again and said enthusiastically, "Uncle, please." "Many thanks, nephew Yang." Xing Hui smiled and nodded at Yang Yuntian, then stepped onto the flying magic tool. Soon, under the control of Zhang Long, a true Qi realm cultivator, the magic tool took off and disappeared into the clouds in a short while. Seeing the flying magic tool fly away, Yang Yuntian's enthusiastic smile gradually turned cold. "Uncle Zhou, I'll leave the rest to you. According to the information I've received, this old man has always had an unclear relationship with the Heavenly Alliance. This time, he wants to leave in a hurry. He must have discovered something in our Heaven Will Palace and sent out some important information. Our plan to lure him out will definitely be able to capture the evidence of his collusion with the Heavenly Alliance. At that time, we can use his life to force Su Qiubai, that bitch, to submit to me and let me toy with her. Secondly, we can also use this old man as a chess piece to send the wrong information to the Heavenly Alliance and set up a trap to deal a heavy blow to the Heavenly Alliance. Young master is wise. Ha, okay, let's follow them immediately. We can't miss the good show of the old man colluding with the Heavenly Alliance. This is the most crucial evidence. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.